In this instructional video, we're going to show you the basics of boxing. We're going to start with a stance because that's where everything begins. We're going to show you straight punches, jabs, and right hands. We're going to show you hooks, uppercuts, body shots. We're going to show you defense, how to go from defense to offense, how to go from offense to defense. We're going to show you basic head movement. We're going to show you how to move and punch. We're going to show you how to punch and move. It'll be demonstrated by professional boxer Eddie Bishop and amateur boxer Cheryl Houlihan. And basically we're going to show you the foundation of boxing, your basic fundamentals, and how to become a better basic fighter with a good foundation. Relax. I'm Steve Mays, and you're going to learn how to strike. The basics of boxing starts with your stance. Every fighter has to have a solid, compact stance. They can't be off balance. They can't be out of range. They have to have a good stance, and that's where it all starts. You can't punch unless you have a good stance. So we're going to go over stance first with Eddie and Cheryl. And your stance starts with pointing your front shoulder at your opponent. And the reason that you point your front shoulder at your opponent is because they only have half to hit you. So Cheryl points her shoulder at Eddie. You can only hit so much. When you're pointed, you only have half. If she squares up, now you have the whole torso to hit. And if you have that to hit, that's the target that you don't want. You know what I mean? You want to point your, back to your stance. You want to point your front shoulder. So like when how Eddie's pointing his shoulder at Cheryl, she only has half of him to hit. If he squares up, square up Eddie, she has the whole torso to hit. And you don't want to do that. The other thing you want to do is your footwork, your feet placement. You want to have about shoulder width apart. It can be a little closer. It can be a little wider. You know, some people have longer legs than others. It's a comfort zone. Cheryl's very comfortable. She has good bend in her knees. Eddie has good bend in his knees. They're very comfortable. You don't want to be too wide. Cheryl, just go wide. If you're too wide, you can't punch, you can't move, you can't go right, you can't go left because you're out of position. And when we talk about punching, all your punching is in your rotation. And if you have that wide stance, then you have no rotation. The other thing that you want to work on is you want to have your hands up. Rule of thumb is have them up to your temples. A lot of misconceptions in boxing is people say put your hands up, and they do this and they put their heads down. Well, that's not putting your hands up, that's putting your head down. And then you're looking at someone's feet, and that's not where you're aiming. So your hands have to come up. Your head doesn't have to go down. As you see with Cheryl and Eddie, how his hands are up by his temples. So everything, if the person throws a hook, it blocks right here. You know what I mean? If his hand was down and they throw a hook, he gets caught on the chin. That's not good. That's not what we're looking for. You have to go offense to defense. The point is to not get hit. The other thing is your elbows are in. So get your hands back up. If you leave your elbows out wide, you're going to get hit with a body shot. And any boxer will tell you, getting hit with a body shot is torture. You get hit with a shot in the chin, you can recover from it. If you get hit with a shot in the body, it's going to take a little time. So notice how the elbows are tucked in. The elbows are tucked in. They're not out wide. Put your elbows out wide. They're not out wide so you can reach around and hit her with a body shot. Same thing with Eddie. If his elbows are out wide, you can catch him with that body shot. The elbows are tucked in. The hands are up. And the final thing, and the most important, is your chin down. Now, when they say chin down, it doesn't mean bury your chin into your chest, because again, you'd be looking at the ground. That's not your target. But you want to keep it under your shoulder. So if I'm here, or Cheryl, her chin is under her shoulder. You know what I mean? So if someone tries to graze a shot over Cheryl, they're going to hit her shoulder, and then it will go into her chin. Whereas if her chin was in the air, they come right over her shoulder, and she's in trouble. Same thing with Eddie. You come here, you hit the shoulder, but if his chin's up in the air, you come right over the shoulder and you're going to hit him with a right hand. And I would say the most important thing is comfort. You know, I can tell you hands up, chin down, and you be in there stiff and it just doesn't work. You need to be super relaxed, super comfortable, as Cheryl and Eddie are. Just relaxed, comfortable, and you'll come into your own of, okay, this is where I feel comfortable, or maybe this is where I feel comfortable, or maybe this is where I feel comfortable. But it's all a comfort level. Hands up, chin down, elbows in, feet about shoulder width apart, point your front shoulder at your opponent so you only give them half of you to hit, and be comfortable. after you have your stance in place, the first punch that fighters are shown is a jab. A jab is the most effective punch in boxing. It keeps the other fighter off balance. And a couple things with your jab is you want to bring it straight out from your side. If your arm goes up and you jab, you're kind of pushing it and you're leaving yourself wide open. So your jab comes right out from there and it comes right back to your chin. If your jab comes out and then goes low, they can come over the top. So it comes right out and it goes right back. The other thing with the jab, as you'll see with all the punches that we show, is your feet move at the same time. So if Cheryl wants to close the distance to me, she jabs and steps forward. If she don't step forward, if you jab and you don't step forward, you're leaning. And what happens is I can counter and come over the top. So as you jab, you step with it. When your left hand goes out, your left foot starts to come forward. When your left hand is fully extended, or if it's a southpaw, your right hand is fully extended. When that is fully extended, that's when your foot should hit the ground. So it should look like that. It shouldn't look, if you do this, you're off key. If you do this, you're off key. It wants to be simultaneous and rhythmic, just like that. And when you move your front foot, you move your back foot. Because, as I said in your stance, you always want to be about shoulder width apart. If you move this one a foot, then you got to move your right foot a foot. If you move a foot in 6 inches, you're off. So if your front foot is a foot, your back foot is a foot. If your back foot is 6 inches, your front foot is 6 inches. And no matter where you go, you're always in your stance. So if I move forward, my front foot goes first. If I move back, my back foot goes first. To the right, my right foot. To the left, my left foot. That way you don't cross over, get knocked off balance. You don't cross over, get knocked off balance. And if you're coming forward and you move your back foot first, that's not your stance. Same thing as if you're going backwards. That's not your stance. So Cheryl will jab. She'll take a small step forward, and she snaps the jab. You don't push it, because if you push it, you get lazy and people can counter off it. So you want to snap it. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Go backwards. Just take a few steps back. Do it again. That's it. That's it. That's it. Again, notice how she steps with a small step with the jab. She brings both feet, and she's snapping that jab. In boxing, they like to say, when you hit somebody, it's like hitting a hot iron. If you get it and you leave it out here, they can counter. But you get it and you get it back. That's the jab. After you learn the jab, the other basic punch is a right hand. Again, it starts in your stance. It stays up high. Another thing is when you jab, after you jab and you're going to throw a right hand, your left hand doesn't come down. When you throw in your left hand, your right hand is high. When you throw in your right hand, your left hand is high. That way you can't get countered. So there's two ways to throw a right hand. The guy stands in front of you. You catch him with a good jab and he stands in front of you, and you turn on your back foot and you throw a right hand. And the other way is you back the guy up with the jab and he takes a step backwards, and you got to kind of follow him with your right hand. First we'll start with he stands there and you just rotate. As we were talking about, the rotation of the punch is where all the power comes from. Real quick, if I was to stand you in the air and hold you by the back of your shirt up in the air, this is how you'd be punching. There's no power on that. But the minute I put you on the floor and you can rotate, that's where all your power comes in. Boom, the rotation of your punches. Your hips, your heels, your shoulders, your arm is the last thing to go. So in order to do that, what we do is we turn our heel out. If we're throwing a right hand, we turn our back heel, our right heel out. And we put it, so you can put it in layman's terms, it's like putting out a cigarette. If a cigarette was under your foot, you want to put it out. So you kick your back heel. When you kick your heel, it forces your hip to turn. When you turn your hip, it forces your shoulders to turn, and then your hand's the last thing to come out. So if we're going to do it super slow, turn your heel, turn your hip, turn your shoulder, the right hand is the last thing to come out. Okay. Yeah. 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 Now another thing you want to notice is when Eddie's throwing his right hand, he's not leaning forward because there's no power on that. The other problem with that is if he leans forward when he throws his right hand, boom, You don't want to do that. If he stays compact and he does it, yeah, right here, boom. You know what I mean? You can't catch him with the hook because he's right there. If he leans forward, boom, you catch him with that hook all day long. So again, he turns his heel, makes his hip turn, makes his shoulder turn. His arm is the last thing to come out, and he doesn't lean. He stays right in his center of balance in his stance. The other kind of right hand is when you follow somebody. So Eddie hits me with a jab and it backs me up. So now he has to follow me. If he just sits and turns, he's not going to hit me. Take a step back. So he steps with his jab at me, and now he's going to step with his right hand. He stepped with his left hand, left hand, left foot. Now it's right hand, right foot. So he steps, right hand comes out. And again, he doesn't go 1 foot 6 inches because it's not his stance. If it's 6 inches, it's 6 inches. If it's a foot, it's a foot. So you always end up in your stance. So he takes a small step with the jab. Notice, yep, go back. Takes a small step with the jab, distance. Now he takes a small step with the right hand, and he's in his stance again. When you're taking that step, you kind of want to, we worked on turning. So when you take that step, you kind of want to turn with that right hand. So you're here, and then you turn a little bit and step. So you end up like this. So it's here, here. So throw the jab, then the right hand. Bang. Go back a step, put it together. That's it. 1 step back. Stay there. Yeah. 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 Okay. So let's go over those two again. Just a straight rotation and step. There's the right hand. Now that we have the straight punches down, the jab and the right hand, now we're going to put the left hook behind it. Everything right-handed, left-handed, I mean, we're showing right-handed fighters, so it's jab, straight right hand, left hook. With a righty, it's just the opposite. It's the same thing, it's just opposite. It's jab, left hand, hook. So if you are a left-hander, we are only showing righties, but everything is the same, it's just in reverse order. So now when you throw the left hook, it's the same thing as when you're throwing your right hand as far as rotation goes. You're going to turn your heel out, which turns your hip, which turns your shoulder, and your hand is the last thing, your arm is the last thing to go. There's many schools of thought on how to throw a left hook. None of them are wrong. Some people say you hold your hand this way. Some people say you hold your hand this way. It's all preference. How do you feel comfortable with it? It's not this is right, this is wrong. It's how do you feel comfortable. As far as the distance, you kind of want, people say you want to hold a basketball, act like you have a basketball inside. Sometimes it's too wide, sometimes it's too short. Again, it's all comfort. The key is the rotation. You want to hit just like this, okay? So when I throw the left hook, I just turn the heel, it forces everything to turn, and the arm just comes right across. It's almost like if Cheryl was, just stand square for me, just square up. If she was going to hold her hands out like this and just turn. There's your hooks, just like that. That's how your hook should be. That's a good drill to practice on hooks. You just stand here and you just rotate because that's your hook. There's left hook, left hook. Notice my arms are not moving. It's just my hips that are moving. My torso is moving. My arms are not moving at all. So again, she turns her heel out, which forces her hip, which forces her shoulder, and her arm is just the last thing to go. Yeah, yeah. One more. Notice how the right hand stays high. If her right hand drops, and she throws to throw a left hook at me, and I go to throw a left hook at her, she gets caught. If she's technically right and I'm technically wrong, boom, throw right here, boom. You know what I mean? So the right hand is up. When you're punching with your right hand, your left hand is up. When you're punching with your left hand, your right hand is up. So, yeah. Notice the rotation, the snap. One more. That's the hook to the head. Now you can just transfer that to a hook to the body. A little more difficult. But here's what you want to do. You don't want to throw a hook to the body standing up tall because you can get countered. So what you want to do is you want to sit down a little more and you want to break down. You don't want to lean over. You can get hit with a counter shot. But you want to break down. You want to break down on your front foot. You want to collapse your front knee. And you want to break down. The purpose is to hit the liver. That's the purpose. You hit someone with a liver shot, they're going. So you break down and you turn it up. You don't hit it across because you're going to miss. You're just going to graze the front of their stomach. You want to turn it up and you want to find a spot behind the elbow and you want to just turn it up. Go ahead, lean over. That's it, just like that. See how she breaks down? She takes a small step. She breaks down in her front knee. Her right hand stays high and she turns it up. Yeah. 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 One more. That's your left hook. Now we're going to work a right hand to the body. Two ways you can throw a right hand to the belly. You can throw it straight or you can hook it in. You throw it straight, you're coming right for the midsection. You sit down, you drop, and you turn. If you're throwing it as a hook, it almost acts as like a left hook. You want to get it behind the elbow, and the object is to hook it in right at the elbow. Hook it right in there. Bang. A couple techniques is when you can't throw a right hand to the belly standing up tall because you're going to get countered. So you usually do it off a jab, and you sit with your jab. You don't jab, then sit, because the guy or the girl can see it coming. You want to sit when you jab, so you're already down there. And again, it's just rotation. That's all it is. You want to sit when you jab and turn. We'll do it off the. We'll do it. He's already going to jab, so he's just going to sit and turn. Rotation of the hips again. Turn the heel so the hips turn, so the shoulders turn. And then your hand is the last thing, your arm is the last thing to come out. So sit and drive it. Yeah. Again, he's down low, so he can't get countered over the top. You throw right hand right to the belly. Throw right to the belly. Can't get countered over the top. Can't get countered over the top. He's underneath everything. When you throw a straight right hand to the belly, it's to just kind of freeze the guy for a second. The guy's getting real comfortable. He's getting a little cocky and stuff like that. So you want to sit down and you just kind of want to freeze him. So sit and drive. The other important thing about punching to the body is punch hard to the body. The guy's head or the fighter's head can move all day. They can slip and they can weave, but their body never moves. So when you get to the position of punching to the body, you want to sit down and you want to punch, bang, bang. You want to really tread everything on the body because it's not going anywhere. The person's head can move all day. But you get down there, you sit down, and you really rip them. When you're throwing the hook to the body, the right hook to the body, the ideal situation is to do it off somebody's jab. So if the person is jabbing, you beat their jab with the hook to the body. For those who didn't see Roy Jones knock out Virgil Hill with it, bang, just like that, and you hit him right there. A little trick to the right hook to the body is to step over with it. Because what you want to do is you want to get yourself in place. You want to step over with your front foot, and you want to get yourself in place to throw this one right here. Bang. So I'm here. I see the jab coming. He's going to step over. Body shot. Throw it right here. Body shot. See what I'm saying? Steps over, hooks it right in. And then he comes back with this one. Bang, just like that. That's your right hand to the belly. The last punch that we're going to talk about before we start putting punches together is an uppercut. You can throw right uppercut, left uppercut, basically throw them the same way. You want to sit down. You don't want to stand up tall when you do it. You want to sit and you kind of want to pop your shoulders up. And you want to throw them right up the middle. Most people's stance, get in your stance, when you get inside, they do not close up, they stay open. So this is great, but right up the middle, you pick their head right up. You always see it in boxing, someone goes up like that. That's that uppercut coming up the middle. You don't want to shift your elbow back. You're not winding up to throw it. It's right from here, and bang, it's right up the middle. It's right up the middle. Right uppercut. Notice again, when she's punching with her right hand, her left hand is up high. When she's punching with her left hand, her right hand is up high. You don't want to get countered. Right uppercut. Yeah. Yeah, pop. Same thing with the left uppercut. Yeah. 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 And again, the key is to split the person's guard. Right up the middle. Right up the middle. See that? Chin comes right up. Other one. Yeah. Yeah. Those are your basic punches. Your jab, your right hand, your hook, your body shot, and your uppercut. I've showed you the offense. Now it's time to work the defense. Great fighters, difference between good fighters and great fighters is defense. People who don't get hit, longevity in their career. People who do get hit, you're not going to last long. The other thing is when you go into your defensive mode, you need to be able to go offense to defense, defense to offense, like that. Because in a fight, it doesn't happen where, okay, I'm going to punch, okay, now you're going to punch. It's all one after another, after another, after another. So we're going to go back to the beginning and we're going to break the punches down and how to defend it. The first one's a jab. When you block a jab, you're catching it like you catch a baseball. So if I was to jab Cheryl, she just catches it. She doesn't come forward, because if she comes forward, I come over the top. Come out and catch it. I just come over the top. So she stays right there, catch, 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 catch. Nice and relaxed the whole time. You don't want to be in there and be tense because you're not going to know what to do. Nice and relaxed, catch, catch, catch. The offense off of that is your jab back. Someone jabs at you, you catch it, and you jab them right away. And it's not a process of waiting a second, jab me. It's not catch, then jab. It's bap, 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 bap. So I'll jab Cheryl, she'll catch it, and she'll jab back. And it's, again, it's a speed timing thing. Again, notice how she doesn't reach with her right hand to catch it. She just lets it come to her. Any fighter you fight, they're trying to hit you in the chin. They're not trying to hit you out here. They're trying to hit you in the chin. So you can wait for it to get to you. If everybody was just punching here, it'd be real easy. So again, she waits. She's patient. She just catches and returns the jab right away. Catching a jab. Now we go to the right hand. When someone's throwing a right hand at you, again, the key is to catch it on your gloves. So when someone throws a right hand, if Eddie's going to throw a right hand at me, and my hands are up, I want to turn away slightly. Not enough so you turn away so you can't see the punch, because then you don't know what's coming back at you. But just enough where you catch it, and you get a little bit of rotation in your hips, because you're going to come back with your own right hand. And as we talked about, rotation is the key to punching. So if he's going to throw a right hand at me, I'm going to turn slightly, just enough to get a little rotation, and then I'm going to rotate back. Boom, right down the middle. Most fighters, after they punch, they stand right in front of you. They'll throw a punch and stop. That's when you come back. So again, he throws a right hand at me, I turn, and I come back with my own right hand. So I'll throw the punch at Eddie. He'll turn slightly, and then he'll come back with his own right hand. It's almost like if you were going to, again, to put it in layman's terms, if you were going to agitate a washing machine, it just turned. Boom, 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 boom. So he turns, I throw the right hand at him, he turns, bang, right away. Bang, turn a little more. Turn a little more. Bang, 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 bang. Again, he stays balanced. His hands are up. When he's punching with his right hand, his left hand is high. His left hand is what he uses to catch it. And that's how you go offense to defense on a right hand. Left hook is very similar. You don't turn as far away because you want to snap the hook off right away. So the minute you feel it, it's right back with it. So if Cheryl throws a left hook at me, I'm here. It's really, really slight turn, but it's enough to catch, and then it comes right back. Boom. So she throws the hook at me. Bah. I throw the hook at her. Right here, right here. Yep. Bah. Notice how she's churning on her heels, just like she's doing the offense. Exactly. Turn. Yeah. Yep. One hand's up, one hand's punching. Good balance, rotation in the hips. Catch the hook, throw the hook. Next, we're going to move to the uppercuts. As I talked about, people usually keep their guards wide and they don't tighten up when they're on the inside because it's not proper to throw an uppercut from the outside. You're going to get in trouble. People throw uppercuts from inside. So when you get on the inside, to protect from the uppercut, you just tighten up a little and you catch the uppercut. Again, don't try to come down here and catch it because you're going to get hit with the hook over the top. Same thing here. Don't come down here to try to catch it because you're going to get hit with a right hand over the top. You want to stay there, and the minute you feel it, you turn the opposite hand over. So if you're catching an uppercut with your right hand, you throw a left hook. If you're going to catch it with a left hook, you throw a straight right hand. I'm sorry, if you catch it with your left hand, you're going to throw straight right. So they catch my right uppercut, and then they turn the hook over. Because here's the key. If they throw the hook here, this is the hand the person's punching with, so this is what's open. That's the side you want to attack because that's what's open. Same thing here. If I throw an uppercut here, that's what's open, that's where you want to attack. So we catch a right uppercut, throw the hook. Catch an uppercut, throw the right hand. Okay. Show it to you nice and in close. Uppercuts. The last punch is the body shot. You have to defend body shots because you don't want to get hit by them. When someone's throwing a body shot at you, whether it's a left hook or a right hook, you want to dip into it. And as we talk about it, I just do this and Cheryl just automatically dips. You want to just, if they're going to that side, dip into it. If they're coming to this side, dip into it. And the reason is because you're loading that punch. So if I hit her with the body shot here, she loads into it because she's coming back with that uppercut. If I throw the body shot here, she dips into it because she's coming back with that shot. And it's, again, you're looking for the opening. If they're here, that's what's open. Boom, right up the middle. If they're here, that's what's open. Boom, right up the middle. Whatever they give you, that's what you want to take. And she's returning an uppercut. So again, she stays low, she rotates, she doesn't stand straight up. Ready? Yeah. 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 One more time. We're going to get a little more advanced now, and we're going to talk about angles. The importance of an angle is, and if you stand right in front of somebody, you're going to get hit. But there's no two ways about it. But if I'm just a little bit to my right, I'm not in front of her, I'm not in front of him, I can shoot one over the top without getting hit. Same way as if I'm over here, I'm not directly in front of them, I can throw over the top and get hit. So what Cheryl's going to do is she's going to show you two kinds of step overs. It's a basic, she's going to throw a jab right hand, then she's going to step to her right and throw a right hand. She's going to throw a jab right hand, weave underneath and step to her right and throw a right hand. The key concept when you're stepping over is, again, if you're moving to your right foot goes first. If you're moving to your left foot goes first. You can't move to your right and move your left foot first. That's not you're off balance. That's not your stance. So to slow it down real quick, it's a jab, then a right hand, and now she's going to step to her right. She's going to use her right foot, and then her left foot follows. So again, she's in her stance. Come back to the front. So it's jab, right hand, step to your right, right hand. And again, you're just getting off to the side. I'm just going to stand here, throw them right at me. And she's off to the side. So again, here's where I'm looking at, but here's where she is. So here's what happens. I turn, bingo. So let's just do that. And off that right hand, you throw a left hook. Throw the hook behind it now. The other one is you weave underneath. Same movement, only someone's throwing something back at you, and you step underneath. It's the same step, same movement, only you're coming underneath someone's punch. And the right hand comes with it. So let's do that. And the left hook follows the right hand. Because you move both feet. One time. Step into your right on an angle. When you step to your left, it's a little different. You don't want to just straight step to your left, because if you're fighting a right-handed fighter, that's their power shot. So you don't want to step over to your left because you're walking right into their money, and you don't want to do that. So if you're trying to avoid a punch and go to your left, you want to start with your left hook because it gets you momentum going to the left, and it just throws the guy off for a second. So the left hook comes, then they try to counter you, and you go underneath it, and you step and pivot out. Again, when you're going to your left foot goes first, then your right foot follows. In this situation, we're going to step and pivot. And the reason we're going to pivot, as you see, is we're in our stance, and we can go right back to our jab. So nice and slow. We get the hook. Then here comes the counter shot where we step underneath it, and we pivot out, and we're back to our stance for a jab. Or a double jab to get our combination going again. Come back here. Nice and slow, hook, step, pivot, double jab. Okay. One more time. Nice and fast. That's how you step to your left. There's basic head movements. It's you slip to your right, slip to your left, weave underneath, and just sitting straight down. When you move your head, you want to bend at your waist, not at your knees. If you bend like this, that's not, you want to be here and you want to bend. You know what I mean? You want to bend. Moving your head does not constitute, if I'm going this way, doing this. That's not good. Your hands are always up. That's not good. When you move your head, it's here, here. Side to side. So your hands are up and it's just moving. If you feel comfortable, you can move your feet while you do it. Some people don't like to. I personally do not like to. Just move. Notice how her hands are up. She's bending at the waist. And the other thing is, you don't go all the way down, because if she goes all the way down, when I throw my right hand, she has to come all the way back up. Crack. So you just do it enough to miss. So if the person does throw a right hand after, boom, boom, they're gone. Boom, boom. If you go all the way and come back, whack. Not good. So it's real quick movements. Whap, 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 whap. The other one is going underneath. You can weave underneath left hooks. Now when you weave underneath left hooks, that's when you want to move your feet. Because this, it's okay, but we want to punch off it. The whole key to head movement is moving and then exploding on someone. Make them miss, then make them pay. So when you weave to your right, you step your right foot first, then your left foot, and you just weave. The easiest way to do it, as I was taught, was picture the letter U. You're one end of the U, go to the other end of the U. So I'm here, I make the letter U, and I move my feet at the same time. So I'm going to my right. So my right foot's going to go, then my left foot's going to go, just like that. And if I'm going back to my left, it's my left foot, then my right foot, and I'm one end of the U, and I'm coming back to the other end of the U. So it's left foot, right foot. And what that does is that gets my momentum to punch. So I go here, and I go here. I don't want to weave this way and throw a left hook because I have nothing on it. All my weight's right here. All my power's right here. So I want to rotate back. So we'll just weave underneath. Notice how she steps with both feet. Her hands are up high. She's always on balance. She's always in her stance. And then she'll come up and punch. Left hook. Right hand. Left hook. Right hand. The other one is just sitting down. And basically, the person is just going to go over your head, and it's a lot easier to hit them in the body. And it's basically sitting down. Just bend your knees and sit down. Don't lean forward. You know what I mean? Don't bend at the waist. Bend at your knees, and just sit right down. And then you can drive that body shot right home. See how she's just sitting down? That's all she's doing. Go ahead. Yeah. Now, if we want to put them together, the head movement, the side to side, and the weave. Again, just the side to side. There. Small movements. Hands are up. It's almost rhythmic. When you're weaving underneath, it's stepping, stepping, making the letter U. You're one end of the U, go to the other. And then you just sit down, sit down, sit down. Now to put these together, so if someone's throwing a long combination at you and you want to make them miss, you miss all 4 punches. Bah, 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 bah. Okay, ready? Ooh. That's head movement. A couple more concepts that were brought to my attention when I was coming up by my trainer, again, Jimmy Farrell, who picked it up from Customato, was 2 concepts. One is to move and then punch. One is to punch and then move. Basically, the head movement that we showed you and the punches that we've shown you, and kind of put them together. Because again, the key is to hit and not get hit. You know, you want to hit somebody and then get out of the way. You want to make them miss and then hit them. So what we'll do first is Eddie will move his head and then punch. He will do the moving, then punching. So basically, I'll throw a shot at him and he'll counter shot off that. So he's going to slip a jab first. He'll throw a right hand, left hook. Again, he's just moving enough to miss the punch, and when he comes back, he explodes. He rotates, he churns, he explodes. Faster. Attaboy. Other thing, you can slip the same punch and go the other way, and come back with a left hook right hand. Again, moving and then punching. Just enough to miss the punch. Rotate. Now it's your weave underneath. You're stepping to your right and you're weaving. You come back, right hand, left hook. Same thing going to your left. You weave to your left, you move your left foot first, you come back and punch. Now you put them all together. So it'll be that way, and then under twice. Nice and relax, do it again. That's moving and punching. Now we're going to show you the other aspect of punching and then moving. We just showed you moving and punching. Now we're going to show you punching and moving. Again, she's just punching and then getting out of the way because she doesn't want to get hit. And do it the other way. So someone goes to throw a right hand at you, boom, boom. Or even if they throw a jab at you, you can go that way, and you can set something up on the other side. Same thing with weaving. You throw a couple punches, and then you get underneath. 2-1. That's it, 2-1. Move feet. Yeah. 1, 2. Yeah. That's punching and moving. I want you to speak sport about Thank you. Step forward and do it again. Steve Mays, and you're going to learn how to strike. Do it again. That right hand sucked. In fighting in general, whether it's boxing or MMA, there's a saying that goes along that Customato had, and it is when two men fight, it's a test of will, not a test of skill. The man with the most will win the fight, provided the other man's skill is not so great that his will is not tested. And what that basically means is when two people are in the ring and they're going at it, and their skill is equal, the person who wants it more will win the fight. So if you're tired, you got to realize that the person across the ring from you or across the cage from you is just as tired. He's in the same fight that you're in. He's just as tired as you, if not more tired. So you're going to have to dig down and get something more than he has. You have to want it more. Your will has to be stronger. In some cases, people's skills are stronger than the other person's will, which means they're a better fighter, they're a better boxer, so it doesn't matter. You can't test their will. But when two people are equal, and it's the third round of a fight or a title fight, and you're tired and you don't want to go back out there, it's your will against his will. So the person with the most will win the fight, provided the other man's skill is not so great that his will is not tested. With combination punching, it's very important, but it also is a ladder of things. When you have a kid, a JO or a junior Olympic, as they say, you want to work on basics. You want to work on your jabbing, your hands up, your straight punches. You want to make sure you get everything down pat. When you go with a more advanced amateur, then you work on your combinations and your pivots and your step overs and stuff like that, and you really look towards advancing yourself as a fighter. And when you're a pro, you work on certain things for the person you're fighting. So if I have a guy that is a left-handed fighter, I'm really not going to work much. I'm going to work more on going to my left. I'm not going to work on going to my right. I'm going to work with finishing with my left hook, throwing the right hand down the middle, so forth and so on. The guy that used to train me, Jimmy Farrell, who showed me everything, said you need a good foundation. You can't build a house without a solid foundation. So when the fighters are kids, they have to learn how to jab, and they have to learn how to keep their hands up and their elbows in, your straight punches and stuff like that, because when they get advanced, you have to be able to build off something. You have to put those elaborate combinations together, and you have to be able to gear towards somebody. So it's very important that when you are a kid starting off, or if you're training kids, you start with basics of boxing. Basics wins world championships. And then you get to a more established amateur, and you work longer, drawn out, more advanced combinations with maybe a head movement in there, and a step over, and a pivot. And then when you get to the professional level, you know the person that you're going to fight. So what you do is you pick that person, you take flaws that they have, their strengths, their weaknesses, and you put it in a game plan, and that's how you work it. Speed is a big concept in boxing. A lot of people say power is a big part and a big part. And you know what power is, but speed is the key. If you're a big puncher but you never hit me because you're too slow to hit me, then I'm really not sure how big of a puncher you are. If two people throw a punch at the same time, the person who gets it there first, that's the person that's going to get the better of the shot. So if I throw a right hand with Cheryl, even though I'm longer than Cheryl, she throws it faster than me. That's how my right hand looks. You know what I mean? You end up throwing a right hand like that because you're going to throw it, but you got hit right on the chin, so it has no accuracy. It has no speed, it has no power, it has no timing. Boom, that's what your right hand looks like. But if I beat her to the punch, whack, that's what her right hand looks like. So it's not so much load up, try to really drill somebody. It's being relaxed, and it's getting it, and it's just snapping that right hand. Snap. So someone's right hand looks like that. That's the speed aspect of it. Same thing with a left hook. If I throw a left hook the same time as Cheryl does, right here, if she gets it there first, that's what my hook looks like. Reversed, if I get it there first, boom, she can't hit me. If I'm going to hit you and you can't hit me, you're really not that strong. Right here. One more time. Yep. Yeah. Speed. A good way to increase your speed and get faster is to train speed. You don't want to train at a slower pace or at a 70% pace, because when you get into a fight, then it's going to be 70% for you, and the person will be going 100%, and that never fares well. So when you throw a combination, whether it's jab, right hand, left hook, you want to tell the person to go faster. You want to go as fast as you can. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out 6, 7, 8 punch combination. But whatever it is, it's got to be fast. And once you feel it, it's got to be faster. 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 Add a right hand. Come on. Faster. Faster. And again, you want to work combinations that you would work when you fight. So, you don't want to work these long combinations, because it's not going to work like that in a fight. You want to work catch a jab and jab. Faster, faster. Okay, that's something we just did. You catch a jab, you jab back, but it's speed. Let's go 4-1-2. 4-1-2. Faster, faster. 4-1-2-1. Everything you do, every time you do it, faster, faster, faster. Catch my right hand hook. Faster, faster, faster. So again, when you're training on the mitts, you train speed. Every team and every camp and every gym has their own secrets or words or phrases where their fighters know what they're talking about compared to other fighters. So if I was to say something to my fighter, your fighter wouldn't know what I was talking about. And the thing that I use is a number system that the late, great Customato used to use. And it's just basically, it's 1 through 9, and every number is a certain punch. We keep it simple. All the odd numbers are your left hand, and all the even numbers are your right hand. And again, if one of my fighters is in a fight and I yell out a number or a series of numbers, they know what I'm talking about and the other person doesn't. The other reason it's good is when you're training, it helps you out, again, work your speed. If I have to say to a fighter, jab, right hand, left hook, right uppercut, left hook, right hand, that takes a few seconds away. But if I can say, 7-2-1, 4-1-2-1, it's like, what? But my fighter can just rattle it off. So I'll show you what I mean by that. I'll have Eddie and Cheryl hit the mitts. We'll go with Eddie first. 7-7. 7-7. 7-7. 7-2. 7-2. 7-2-1. 7-2-5. That's it. 7. Catch my 7-7. 7-7. 7-2-1, no catch. 7-2-1. Yeah, again, right here. Yeah. 7-2-1-4. Yeah, again. 7-2-1-4-1. 7-2-1-4-1-2. 7. 7. Now I'll do the same thing, and I'll just have Cheryl hold it. I mean, all my fighters, they use the same system, same numbers. And again, it's a speed. 7. 7. 7-2. 7-2. Again. 7-2-1. 7-2-1-2. 7-2-1-2-1. 7-2-1-4-1-2-1. Go ahead.
Over there?
Yep, right here. 7-2-1-4-1-2-1. Again. 7. 7. 7. 7. Lean out 7. Again. 4-1-2-1. 4-1-2. 7. 7. 7. 7. 2-1. 1-2. 1-2. 2-1. 1-2. You're dying. That's the number system. One of the harder concepts in boxing is fighting off the ropes. General rule is if you're not on the ropes, you don't have to fight off the ropes. You want to try to stay in the center of the ring. But at some point in time in your fight or in your career, you're going to be on the ropes. Reasons you don't want to be on the ropes is first and foremost, the guy is pressing the action to you. If you're on the ropes, the guy's pressing the action, and that's what the judges see. And if you don't stop the guy, and after they score every round. So if your back is to the ropes and the judge is looking up at you and he sees your back, no matter what's going on, he's seeing that it's your back and the other guy's being aggressive. So you want to get out from there, and you want to get to the center of the ring and start boxing over again. Basic two ways to get out are right and left. You can't go back anymore, and the guy's pretty much on top of you, so unless you're bumping him going backwards, you got to get out right and left. When you get out to your left, use your left hand. When you get out to your right, use your right hand. Eddie will demonstrate it. We'll slow it down for you. When you're moving to your left, when you're getting out to your left, you want to get out with your hook, and you want to push the guy. Literally push him and pivot out. As we were doing with the steps, when you step to your right, step to your left, how you move your feet, it's the same thing, only we're on the rope. So the hook comes, and you just turn him right out. And basically, if he was doing it to me, it would be here, hit the hook, and turn me right out. So let's do that. We're just going to put an uppercut in front of it because, as we were talking about, combinations is the key. And he just turns me right into the ropes. That's all. Shuffle back to the center. And then he gets to the center of the ring, and he can work. Same thing, just going to the right. You're going to finish with a right hand. Now, it's a lot harder to finish with a right hand and step to the right because you're not really completely out. You want to step and get underneath to get completely out and get to the center of the ring. And we'll put a couple punches together to do that. That's it. Nice and relaxed. Sit down. You're nice and relaxed. You're sitting down. You're as relaxed on the ropes as you are on the center of the ring. One more time. And then you get to the center of the ring and you stop boxing again. And again, if you're not on the ropes, you don't have to worry about fighting on the ropes. But when you are on the ropes, you want to get out of there as fast as possible so the judges are not influenced by you being on the ropes. If you're talking about accuracy, a couple things help accuracy. Mitt work, heavy bag work, double end bag work. But when you want to talk about accuracy, you want to aim for a spot on someone's body. And the word that I got was you aim for a dime. Everybody can punch, but the person who can place his punches or her punches is the person that's going to get it there and the person that's going to ultimately put you out. So one of the things is on the mitts, there's a circle in the middle of every mitt. You want to aim for the middle of that circle. You don't want to hit up. You don't want to hit down. You want to hit right in the middle of the circle. The other thing is sparring. Sparring develops your accuracy because there's no simulation like sparring. When you fight and you spar, it's kind of the same thing, just a little more intense. So when I'm boxing with somebody or when Cheryl's boxing with someone or someone like that, you want to aim for the spot, and that's when you want to work on your things and your accuracy. Your accuracy will come with timing. When you get your timing down pat, you'll know that you're accurate because you'll be able to land that right hand or that hook or that uppercut. But the things to work on with accuracy, aiming for a certain spot, hitting the bag, hitting the double end bag, hitting the mitts, and aiming for that dot on the mitts. A couple different styles of boxers is a brawler and a boxer. A boxer is more on their toes, more jabbing, moving, smooth, fluent. A brawler is someone who's in your face, who's going to bring it to you and really try to bang you all night. Ways to beat those is you got to do the opposite. If there's a brawler, you got to be a boxer. If there's a boxer, you got to be a brawler. You have to adjust. That's the difference between good fighters and great fighters. Good fighters are one way. They're either a brawler or a boxer. Great fighters can do both. You want to go opposite of the style. You want to put the other person in a non-comfortable situation. So Cheryl's a boxer, and she's a very good boxer. So I can't stay outside and box with her because she's just too fast for me. So I have to try to get inside, and I have to brawl her. But she's so good that when I go and try to maul her, she just steps around me. So every time I try to go get her, yeah, she's gone. Oh, here we go. You know, she's gone. She's gone. Yeah. So I'm trying to get her. Oh, yeah, she's trying to get around me. I'm trying to get around her. I'm trying to press her. She's here. She's there. She's gone. So she has to continue to do what she does best, and that's box and move her feet, step side and step side. Now with Eddie, he's more of an in-your-face, great uppercut, great right hand, great left hook, and he's going to try to push you to the ropes, and he's going to try to bang you and bang you. So I'm trying to box, and I'm trying to stay outside, and I'm trying to stay smooth, and he's trying to close the distance, and he's trying to get hit, and he's smothering me, and he's frustrating me, and I can't do nothing, and he's taking me out of my comfort zone. And once he gets here where he wants to be, he goes to work, I'm hitting him, and I don't like to be here, and I'm trying to move away, and he's just closing the distance, and you put the person in a non-comfortable position. But again, the difference between good fighters and great fighters is they can do both. So if Eddie's in there with someone who's a brawler and trying to back him up, he can box, and he can move, and he can get on his toes. Same thing with Cheryl. If she's in there with someone who's slick and fast, she can bring it to you, and she can come and get you too. Amateur boxing and professional boxing vary in different ways. Amateur fighting rounds can vary anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes, depending on your age and your weight, and with your experience, depends on whether it's 3 rounds or it's 4 rounds. Kids in general, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, they go 3 rounds, and they will go, depending on their age, anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes. When you get what you call an open class fighter, which has more than 10 amateur bouts, they're 4 rounds, and they're automatically 2 minutes, no matter age or weight. Automatic 2 4-minute rounds. Point system is implied in amateur boxing where it's hit and don't get hit. You can win a fight 1-0 if you believe it or not. The scoring blow, as I'll show with Cheryl, is the front part of the glove, which is a white part of the glove, which is right here. That's your scoring blow, and it's anywhere in the front. So if you go from the front of the headgear to the waist, anything in front is a scoring blow, and it has to hit clean. If my hands are up and Cheryl's punching at me and I'm catching, that's no points. I'd have to hit her clean in the headgear or clean in the belly. That's your point scoring for amateurs. The other things with amateurs, thank you. The other things with amateurs is headgear. Amateurs are required to wear headgear, which are certified by USA Boxing, and they're required to wear a t-shirt or a tank top when they're in the ring. Professional style is a little different. Professional, there's no headgear. There's no t-shirt unless it's female. And the gloves are a little different. The gloves in professional boxing are 10-ounce gloves, where in amateurs they're 10s or they're 12s, and they're a little more padded. But professional, they're ready to go. They're not padded. They're real tight gloves. The other thing with professionals is it can vary from anywhere from 4 rounds to 12 rounds. It's 3 minutes, but it's either 4, 6, 8, 10, or 12. And the thing with that is you have more time to set things up. When the amateurs, it's go, points. Professional boxing, you can set things up. You'll hear a lot in professional boxing, stay to the body, because you're trying to wear somebody down over 6 and 8 rounds. You're constantly taking body shots. That's going to wear on you. The other thing is, it's more of a strategy. It's more of a game plan. I know what this guy's going to do, so I have to gear towards it. If it takes me 6 rounds, it takes me 8 rounds, so be it, but that's what I have to do. The other thing with professional boxing is aggressiveness, effective aggressiveness. You can be coming forward the whole time, punching. That other guy could be catching everything. At the end of an amateur bout, it might be 0-0. But at the end of a professional bout, it's 10-9 and you're up 1 round to nothing. So it's effective aggressiveness by backing somebody up, putting some punches on them, staying consistent with your game plan. It's no shirt unless you're a female fighter. It's anywhere from 4 rounds to 12 rounds, and it's automatic 3 minutes. talk a little bit about holding the mitts. There's no wrong way to hold the mitts. There's no proper way, right, wrong. Just a couple things that I like to work on when you're holding the mitts is maybe having one target instead of the target's way over here, separated. Because when you're punching a person, their head isn't here and here. Their head is in one spot. The target doesn't move. It might move around the ring, but it's generally right here. If you're going to cross your mitts, so say they throw their left hand here and their right hand here, kind of keep one out in front of the other, because if you bring it back, it's kind of the same area. The only problem when you do this is the person now ends up punching here and here, which in reality they'd just be punching straight, because that's where the person's head is. So when we hold the mitts, as I'm going to hold the mitts now, I'll demonstrate both ways. I'll hold the mitts like that. I'll cross them. And the other thing is, don't try to aggressively go after the punch. You want to absorb it. You want to, because you're going to hold the mitts for a lot of rounds, and it's going to a lot of shock absorption. It's going to hurt your elbows. So when someone punches at you, kind of catch it and go with it. Catch it and go with it. Jab. Yeah, jab. Jab. Jab right here. Jab right here. Jab right here. Jab right here, left hook. Again. Again. Cross. Again. Again. So those are just some basic ways to hold the mitts. The other thing you can do with the mitts is you can act like they're gloves. So when your fighter's punching at you, you can simulate a fight or you can simulate sparring. So if my fighter throws something at me, I can throw something back at them so they know. So for instance, Eddie will jab at me, and then I'll jab back at Eddie, and then he'll catch it and jab back at me. I know it sounds fast, but here's what we'll do. He'll throw a jab at me, I'll jab him, he'll catch it, and throw a jab back at me. Full speed, it looks like this. Same thing with right hands. So I'll throw a right hand at Eddie, and he'll catch it and come back with his own right hand. I can throw a right hand and a hook at him, and he comes back with his own left hook. Hook right hand. Other way. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. Atta baby. Yep. Yeah. So when you're using the mitts, you want to also simulate the fight, because the person that you're going against isn't just going to sit there and eat punches and then not punch back at you. So you want to come as close to simulating the fight as possible. So again, you want to keep a pretty tight target. You don't want to be wide, because that's not where the target is. If you're going to cross, keep them kind of close. Absorb the shock, and punch back at the same time the person's punching you, so you can simulate the fight. Combination punching, you can start with basics and you can work your way up. So what we'll do is we'll start with a 2 or 3 punch combination, and then we'll work up to maybe a 4 or 5 punch combination, and then we'll show you a longer combination at the very end of it. So Cheryl will demonstrate a few combinations, and I'll have Eddie show you a few. So again, you start with the basics, 7-2, snap, snap. Then you add the hook, 7-2-1, 7-2-1, 2, yeah, 7-2-1. 7-2-1-2, 7-2-1-2-1, 7-2-1-2-1. And again, it's not a matter of longer, different punches. It's just putting another left hook in, another right hand in, maybe another uppercut. So that's basically your jab, right hand, left hook, and then so forth and so on. So let's throw a double jab right hand. 7-7-2-1. Again, that's just a jab, right hand, left hook with another jab added. I'll have Eddie show you a right uppercut with a left hook and then a right hand behind it. So 4-1-2. Yeah. The first combination that Cheryl threw is more of an outside when you're boxing and moving combination. This is more of an inside combination when you're here on the inside, and the guy, he's not letting you throw the hooks, the wide hooks. So you pop his head up, and then you drill it. A good move off of that is stepping over to your right. So Eddie will throw the uppercut, hook, right hand, and then he'll take one step to his right, and he'll shoot another right hand. So what you're mixing in is the stepping over that we had worked on earlier into a combination. I'll have Cheryl demonstrate another combination where instead of throwing a left hook, you throw a left uppercut. So it's jab, right hand, uppercut. Purpose of that is the same purpose of throwing an uppercut. You want to split the guard. If she throws a jab, right hand, left hook real slow, throw right hand, left hook, I'm ready for it. You know what I mean? I'm ready to catch it. But if I mix it and throw one up the middle, 7-2-3, I can pop the head up. Two behind it. Once you pop the person's head up, take it off. That's it. Go back to the 1. 7. After all your combinations, you really want to start with your jab again, because it gets you back going, it gets you to where you want to be, it gets your base, it gets your balance, and it kind of just, it gets you settled again of, okay, you know, we're going back to it, we're going back to it. I'll have Eddie show you the body shots, putting your body shots together. A concept that I like is you never throw a right hand to the belly without the left hook behind it. Your hands should be like Siamese twins. You don't see one without the other. If you see the left, you see the right. If you see the right, you see the left. They should look the same. They should always be it. 6-5, hook it in. Now notice how he steps over with the right hook like we were working on, and then he turns the left hook up like we were working on, because you want to find that spot behind the elbow. That's it. That's it. Now you can do that off a jab. So 7-7, 6-5. That's it. Yeah. Straight 6-5 off the 7-7. Good. Now we'll have Cheryl do one more combination, a little longer combination. We're going to go through a whole, almost what you call a flow drill, where I know what she's going to do, she knows what I'm going to do, and we're just going to go right through it. Yeah. That's a longer, drawn-out combination, but it's more of a choreographed move where we just want to keep punching, keep punching, keep punching. Again, when you're punching in combinations, you want to start with your jab, and it's just a mix of putting punches together. It's all the basic punches, but it's all together. So I show you the jab, right hand, left hook, uppercut, uppercut, body shot, body shot, body shot. It's all the punches that we had already worked on. You're just putting them together. So 7-2-1, 7-2-5, 7-2-3, 7-2-3-2, 7-2-1-2, 7-2-1-2. It's all those punches. It's just put together. That's combination punching. Running is a very key aspect of conditioning as far as fighting goes. When you get late into a fight, you're looking for that extra stamina. You want to run a couple times a week, and you want to run hard. You're only pushing yourself. You know, you're not cheating your trainer, you're only cheating yourself. Because when the fight happens, you're in there, and you're the person who needs to dig down for something. A couple running aspects. You could do sprints, distance. You could do 20 yards, 40 yards, 50-yard sprints. You could do suicides because you have to come back and forth and it's a constant change of direction. You could do distance, what helps you in the long run. When you sprint, it's that quick burst, quick burst, quick burst. But when you go distance, that's that extra round, that extra minute. When you run suicides, basically what a suicide is, it's a constant stop, go, change of direction. You can run it in a parking lot where you can use each line where a parking spot, so there's 2 spots. You start at a distance, you run, you stop, you change direction, you go back, you keep changing direction. But it's that constant sprint. You can do it on a football field where you go start at an end zone, come down, back. You go like 5 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards, and you keep changing direction. Another drill is a treadmill drill that we do. It's 3 sets at 5 minutes at a constant incline. So you run 5 minutes at a certain incline. You don't stop. You keep going for another 5 minutes. You increase it again. Then you go for the last 5 minutes and you increase it again. It's a constant uphill run. It's very, very, very tough on your legs, very tough on your calves. One of the main, we talk about stance and punches and accuracy and head movement and being in the right place. But the biggest part of boxing is wanting to be in the ring. This is not a team sport. This isn't basketball, baseball, hockey, football, soccer, where, you know what, if you screw up or if you're not as good, you can look to the other 2, 3, 5, 7 people in the field and say, help me out. This is your sport, and this is all about individualness. And when the bell rings, it's you and the person across the ring. It's not your trainer. It's not who trained you. It's nothing like that, because when the bell rings, these people can't go in the ring and fight for you. And if you don't have the determination and the desire to be in the ring and be in the gym every day and work hard on those summer days when your friends are at the beach or they want to go out on a Friday night and you're saying, no, I have to stay in, or no, I have to go run 5 miles, or I have to do something like that. That's the determination and the desire that's going to bring a different person out, because bottom line is when that bell rings, the person across from you is trying to hurt you. They're not in here to touch gloves and play patty cake. They're in there to really hurt you. And if you're not in the ring to give that back, then you're in the wrong sport. Seven, take the step back, 2-1. To help us do some demonstrations today is Cheryl Houlihan. I have been privileged enough to work with Cheryl for a little while now, and she's just a great fighter. Some of her credentials, she's a 4-time U.S. Women's National Champion at 2 different weight classes, 106 pounds, 110 pounds. She's a 2-time reigning defending PAL champion. She's a 2-time reigning defending Pan Am gold medalist, which basically is an Olympic qualifier for the men, but because there's not Olympics for the women yet, it's almost, it's one of the biggest tournaments that there is, and she's a 2-time reigning defending gold medalist. She's been on the elite women's national team for the last 4 years, which means she's the #1 fighter at her weight class. So she represents the women's team when they travel to, where have you been? Taiwan, Turkey, Argentina. She goes as the either 106-pound representative or 110-pound representative. And she won the 2004 Women's World Championship, which is the equivalent of the Olympics and as far as women's boxing goes. It is a privilege and an honor to work with Cheryl, and she will show you things today that you're not going to look. You'll look at women's boxing different, but you're also going to look at a 5 foot tall, 110-pound female as, I wouldn't want to get in the ring with her, because I know plenty of guys that she has boxed with that will say that. If I had to describe Cheryl, it would be, she's the Michael Jordan of women's boxing. If there's something to do in women's boxing, she's either done it or she will do it, and I can guarantee you that. Woo!
Keep him over here, will you? Big don't help me out.
I don't want to give the secrets away.
This goes out on the internet and make it on America's Most Wanted. Well, you got to bring that up.
The champ. No doubt about it. Michael Jordan of female boxing. Swear to God, she's the best. 7-7 straight 6-5.
7-7 straight 6-5.
Yeah. Next 7-7 hook 6-5.
Huh?
Now the hook to 6-5. Oh baby, straight 6. Hook it. Straight 6. Hiccup. Move around a little. Turn a complete circle while you're doing it. Ah. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Backwards. Oh, there it was. You had it. Come on. Why'd you stop? You had it. You had it. You were in the rhythm. You had it. Yeah, that's it right there. There you go. All right, one more time, as fast as you can push it.
This or spin?
Spin. Fast as you can push it. Fast as you can push it. Last time, come on. Push through. All right, get your breath. You gonna get it or no? That's good. That's good.
I think I have it on the wrong.
She's gonna want to do it now. Now, all right, I'm gonna be a real jerk and show you a sit-up routine that she does too. Hold on. I'm gonna be a real jerk and you're gonna do those sit-ups. Oh, you can, and you will. Come on. Stand up, punch at the top.
1, 2.
Yeah, man. All set? Go ahead. Go ahead. 5 more. Give me 1 more. Yeah, man. You show him an upside down push-up?
Oh, totally.
Come on, you can show him one. You can show him an upside down push-up. Come on, show him one.
Wait, I've been working on that. I can do it on the wall. But help me out.
You got it, man. I'm not going to let you fall. You know that. Tuck your shirt. I'm with you. Kick him up. I'm with you. Can you do it without the... Come on, you can do it without me holding your feet. I know you
Just
can.
do the one up and then I square up.
Okay.
Still.
That's what I'm talking about, right there. Go ahead, get out of here before you die on me. I just want to reiterate something and talk about something real quick. Cheryl is one of the elite amateur fighters in the country. She has many, many, many credentials. And one of her slogans and one of her sayings is HITM, H-I-T-M. And it stands for history in the making. And it's not really for her or like a hit 'em, like beat 'em up, or a hit 'em, knock 'em out. It literally stands for history in the making, as she is trying to make history as far as women's boxing go. And right now there's no women's Olympics and stuff like that. And I know it's a very sore subject with Cheryl, as it should be, because she is one of the elite fighters. But I just want people to know that when you see something that says hit 'em and history in the making, that's Cheryl, and she's trying to make a stand for women's boxing. This DVD is going to help you with striking for MMA. With the help of Joe Lauzon and his brother Danny Lauzon, we'll show you all the techniques, all the tactics, the proper way to fight a left-hander, and everything you need to know as far as striking in MMA.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is going to be the difference in your stance. Obviously, you know, MMA stance can be different, boxing stance different from a wrestling stance. So if we're boxing, to begin with, you know, you're going to have your shoulder pointed, your left leg, if you're a righty, forward, you know, hands up, obviously, and, you know, we'd be boxing, doing whatever, okay? If we were wrestling, you know, we're not going to have that foot forward so much. We're going to be more of a neutral stance, you know, looking for takedowns, you know, wrist control, whatever, okay? Now, if I were trying to, you know, have a good MMA stance, I don't want to be taken down. You know, we're trying to avoid the takedown. So I don't want to take a boxing stance where I'm putting my leg out where he can shoot it on me or just, you know, getting kicked. So we're going to start, rather than being in a boxing stance or being in a wrestling stance, we're going to kind of find a middle ground where our stance isn't so wide, you know, from front to back, but we shorten it up a little bit. You know, so now we're here. If I had a boxing stance and I'm more like this, and Danny shoots on me, I'm in trouble. I'm not going to get my foot away in time. But if I have more of an MMA stance, shortened up a little bit, I can step back, I can circle away. We're always keeping our feet moving. So our feet is always moving. We push away, we circle. And that's the main difference in the stance for MMA as opposed to boxing. Some aspects of boxing carry over, okay? We don't want to be circling into his power hand. If he's a righty, his right hand. If he's lefty, his left hand. So we're going to circle in the same direction, but there's also another reason we have to look out for, okay? Normally in boxing, okay, I want to be circling to my right so that I'm staying away from his rear hand, okay? In MMA, though, I'm also staying away from his rear kick. If I was moving to the left, he's going to hit me with his rear hand, or he's going to hit me with his rear kick. Okay, very, very bad for me. If I'm moving the other direction, I'm trying to move him into my rear hand and my rear kick, okay? Now, say he was a southpaw, his stance is different. So now he switches up his stance, okay? Now I'm going to be stepping to my left to stay outside his power leg, his lead leg. So I'm here, so I'm stepping outside. So I'm not circling into his rear hand. I'm not stepping into his rear leg. So it carries over a little bit, but it's still something you want to keep in mind. Okay, the footwork, you know, as we talked, the overall stance is different, but also just how you're moving around is going to change a little bit. In boxing, you know, there's all different, you know, things you can do, you know, different ways you can step, things like that. The same thing in MMA. We're just going to go over the general principles of, you know, keeping pressure and whatnot. You have to think, okay, if we're fighting and he's trying to take me down and I want to, you know, hit him or whatever, there's always kind of a bubble, okay? When the bubble breaks, it's either, okay, I'm going to throw at him or he's going to, you know, shoot on me. You know, it's going to be one or the other. So we want to kind of slowly get to that point of breaking the bubble, and then either we throw and try to hit him or he's going to shoot. But we have to be ready for either way, okay? So if I'm here, you know, we're moving around, you know, and now I'm not, you know, in a boxing stance, basically. I want to be in more of an MMA stance, you know. So we're circling, whatever, okay? Now I'm going to see how close I can get to him. I want him to, you know, shoot on me, and I'm ready for it. So when he shoots, okay, I'm going to get my hands down and in, okay? A lot of people, like in wrestling, you typically think about underhooks. Underhooks happen when he shoots on me, and I have my arms underneath to stop him. So if he shoots again, okay, I'm lifting him up. I'm not letting him get to my legs, okay? So it's the same thing in MMA, but we don't have the luxury of having our arms down low to begin with. You know, we have to have our hands high. So one of the things that I really, really like to do is just using my hands on his shoulders, on his neck, or even just using my forearms. So if he shoots, you know, blocking here, which helps you go into a tie clinch, or even if you're blocking here. So shoot again. I circle away. You know, so now I'm holding him up from getting to my legs, which is going to stop his, you know, his shot, his takedown. So again, we're here. From here, you know, I can use my forearm, bring his head up, throw punches, you know, you throw uppercuts, knees to the body, go into your tie clinch, anything like that.
One of the combinations we're going to talk about in MMA, which is very effective, is a left hook and a right hand. It's not conventional for boxing. Boxing, they keep the left hook short, throw the right hand. In MMA, they kind of throw it wide. The reasons they throw it wide is someone is always trying to move to your left because your good shot's a right hand. They don't want to get hit by it, so they're going to always step to their right, which is your left. So the reason you throw the left hook first and you throw it wide is you want to stop them. It's not, this isn't the one that's going to hurt them. You just want to stop them, and it's almost like you're moving them in place to throw the straight right hand right down the middle. So as they're going and they step with you, you stop them, and then you shoot the right hand down the middle. It's real, one right after another. So Joe, just come back here. So if he's going that way, stop, boom, right down the middle. Go ahead, demonstrate it. So Danny will move to his right, Joe will stop him by just throwing the left hook out there right about here, and you're just going to get him to look at something. The minute he looks at it, you shoot the right hand down the middle. Hook, right hand. To your left. Hook, right hand. Hook, right hand. Good. Good. That's the left hook, the right hand behind it. Another punch we could talk about in MMA is an overhand right, where you're coming over somebody's jab. Good thing to do with this, as Danny will show you, is when someone jabs, sometimes they get lazy and they drop their left hand down. Their jab comes back low, which leaves their whole face wide open. So what you want to do, as we talked about, is you want to just move enough so you miss the punch. You don't want to go way down because you'll catch something on the back side of it. Just come here, and then your right hand, as this comes back, comes right over the top. You want to aim for the jaw area, cheekbone area, and it just comes right over the top. Boom, and it comes back low. On the pit, pad. The advantage of throwing a straight right hand over somebody's jab is it's going to get there faster than if you were to throw a big loop in one. It takes a long time to get there. And if this guy's throwing a combination, if he's throwing a jab and then a right hand, you're going to get there first. If you throw the loop in one and he comes back with a right hand, he's going to beat you to the shot. Now Danny will demonstrate it on Joey. Bang, right over the top of it. Exactly. That's an overhand right. From a boxing point of view, a good defense when someone is charging at you is to throw an uppercut. So what we're going to do is, if someone's coming at you and they're punching, and you just keep backing up, you're giving them every option. They can punch, they can kick, they can shoot, they can do everything. And you're not offensive, so they're not looking for anything. But if you turn some offense into that, and it's very basic, it's just an uppercut. What you're going to do is, when you feel you've taken 3 or 4 steps back, you're going to plant your back foot, drop your back shoulder, and you're going to throw an uppercut. You're going to start at the stomach and finish at the chin. The reason you do that is some people will lean back. If they lean back, you still got them here. If they lean forward, that's a knockout shot. So what we'll do is, again, if Joey's coming at me and I feel I'm taking steps back, I drop that back foot, drop my back shoulder, start at the stomach, finish at the chin. So I'll demonstrate it on Joe. I'll come at you. He'll feel himself taking a few steps back. Then he sets right up the middle. Starts here, finishes here. And the reason, again, if I lean back, he gets me there. If I lean forward, it's over. So I'll come at Joe with a few punches. Bang. That's a good defense when you're backing up. Let's go over how to fight a southpaw. One of the things we want to do, is I'll demonstrate with Danny, is you want to stay outside the lead leg. It's the most important thing. It's the most basic thing. The reason you want to stay outside the lead leg, let's go left-handed, is his money shot is a left hand. That's one he's going to try to knock you out with. So if you're moving to your right, he throws it right down the middle, you're in trouble. But if you keep moving to your left and you stay outside of his lead foot, very hard for him to get that off, and he has to keep adjusting to you. Most people can punch when they're sit down and let it fly, but not a lot of people can punch on the move. So we're going to make that left-hander move, so he can't get his left hand off. So I'll go southpaw, Danny go right-handed, and he just stays right outside. And it's not a big circle or anything like that. You're just walking. You're just making him readjust. He wants to stay outside. You want to stay outside of him. So you're just going to make him readjust every single time. Again, it's very basic, and it's the first thing you should do against a southpaw, is move to your left to stay away from his big shot. If he keeps moving, that's where my left hand's going. That's where I can't, he keeps moving. The minute he goes back to his right, there's the left hand right down the middle. The next thing you want to do, because the guy has his leg is right at you, is you want to shoot right off of his jab. So when he overextends his jab, you're in on him right away. And the leg is right there. There's no looking for it. So he overextends with his jab. As you're stepping to your left, You're in on the shot. Pick me right up. Like we do. See how Joey's stepping to his left, staying to his left, staying to his left, staying to his left. Perfect. Now we'll defend the left hand. His straight left hand. Again, it's his power shot. It's the one he's looking to knock you out with. If for some reason you freeze for a second and you forget to move to your left, you have to be able to defend it. When he throws the left hand, you want to block it. You don't want to turn away so you can't see. You want to rotate to your right to set up your right hand because that's your shot. And then the right hand comes right down the middle. Again, most people hit and stop. So the minute you feel that, the right hand comes right down the middle. Again, if you find yourself setting your feet for a second and you're not moving to your left and the guy rattles off his left hand, the right hand comes right back down the middle. Off the right hand, you want to throw the left hook. The reason is, just like I talked about in the beginning, the basic is to move to your left. If you destroy your right hand, you don't have any momentum going to your left. So you want to come back with the left hook to get your momentum going back to the left. Because the key is to get to the left, get to the left, get to the left. And gets Danny going to his left. Here comes the left hand. That, that, that. The next punch is the right hook. And again, it's the same thing. It's the same concept. You froze for a second. He's trying to set up his left hand. So he's going to do the same thing. He's going to throw the wide hook to set up his left hand. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to beat his hand. Our right hand is going to be faster than his left hand. So once you feel this, it comes right down the middle. Because if I wait for a second, he throws his, I'm there first. Yeah, just like that. Catch, let it go. Catch, let it go. And again, you finish with your left hand to get your momentum going to the left. So you feel the hook, beat his left hand, finish with yours. That's it. That's okay. Off those punches you can shoot. So we'll go back to catching the left hand. He'll catch my left hand, he'll throw his right hand hook, and right off that hook he'll be in on a shot. We want to, the way we get him to the ground, just catch it, and right there, and we're right in. We're just going to freeze him for a second, and then we're going to bring it in. Okay? Come on, Dino. Always moving to the left. Good. Now we'll defend the hook. Same thing. Same punches, same routine. The minute your left hand hits, you're shooting. Always stepping to the left. And then he's in on me. Yep. That's your basic defense against a southpaw.
Okay, now we're going to go over some stuff using striking to set up the takedown. This is what I typically do. I'm a much better grappler than a striker, so I usually don't want to stand for longer than I have to. I want to get the takedown. I was talking before about, kind of that bubble, of I want to kind of just get inside, and I was talking about how I want to kind of stalk him. You want to create the proper distance for the takedown or to stay out of his range and not get hit. So we're going to try to make that bubble burst this time instead of making him shoot by making him try to throw at us, make him try to hit us, whether it's a punch, kick, whatever, okay? So I'm just going to see how close I can get, and he's going to feel like he has to throw something at me. He's going to have to do something. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep getting closer and closer, and then I'm just going to take him down. I'm going to get him nice and tight. So we're going to start working on that type of stuff. Okay, one of the things we could talk about that's different from boxing and MMA is we got to deal with kicks. Typically, if we try to get a takedown and the other guy, is the striker or whatever, when he kicks, we shoot. Okay, it's just it's a green light. You know, we always say follow the kick home. Okay, so if we're here, he can kick with his front or his back leg. I usually like to wait for the back leg to come, but you can do either way. Okay, so if we're here, normally, you know, we're gonna check the kick. You know, we don't want to get our legs beat up. Okay, so if he kicks at me, front leg we check. Okay, back leg we check. Cool, okay, but a lot of times if we want to get the takedown, we're gonna not check the kick. We're just gonna meet the kick. Okay, so if he's here and he kicks at me, I'm just gonna kind of go into it. Okay, keeping your hands up, everything else. So as he kicks, boom, jam it a little bit, and then I'm gonna work my takedown. Okay. So we're here. We meet it. We can drive across. Important to go across to get the far leg from us and basically pull it out from under, using the same type of popping motion into him to get the takedown. So we're here. He kicks. We follow. Okay, it's gonna be quick. It's not something you're gonna be able to, you know. What I don't want to do is to sit here, let him kick, let him get his foot back down, and then try and shoot. It's not gonna work. It's got to be, you know, at the same time basically. As he kicks, we shoot. We're waiting for the kick. You know, it's not something we're gonna be like, oh, he kicked me, so I'm gonna shoot. We're waiting for it. As he does it, we shoot. So here's. Okay, one of the things we do in boxing, you know, if I'm going to slip his jab, you know, I'm just kind of moving my head off to the side, staying outside, okay? Slipping a jab works really, really well for MMA because if you want to shoot, he can't underhook with that if his jab is extended. So I'm going to try to capitalize on him shooting. I offer him, you know, throwing the jab at me. I'm going to slip, and I'm going to do what we call like a mid-level shot where I slip and I step in, okay? Now, I'm just taking half a step. I want to be reasonably close. If I'm too far away, it's not going to work. I want to be just inside his jab range so that I can get in, okay? If I were back here and I slip, you know, I'm not going to get in because he's going to stop me. He's going to get underhooks. He's going to get his forearms and everything else, okay? I need to be nice and close. So when he throws a jab, I slip, I get in, okay? Now what we're going to do is rather than lift on his legs like some people would, we're going to pop with our shoulder, okay? I want to lift him up just a little bit. I want to get him just off the ground a little bit, okay? And that's how we're going to drill it to begin with, okay? So he's just going to throw his jab. I slip, I come in, I pop. Now, I really have to emphasize the fact that we're not going to, you know, be lifting his legs, okay? So one of the drills that we do to try and work on this is I'm going to slip his jab. Boom. I come in. Now, just for the purpose of drilling, I'm going to take my hands, put them on my back. And I'm going to sink my weight down a little bit. I'm going to pop up into him. And that's just to kind of get the whole idea of popping using our shoulder rather than lifting on his legs, okay? You try and lift on his legs and he could be sprawl, whatever, but if you're driving your shoulder, you're still going to get him off the ground. Yeah. Slip, down, lifting him. Okay, now, this is just a drill we do. We'll do this, you know, we'll drill it going up and down the mat doing this, okay, the whole entire class. Now, when we're trying to actually finish the takedown, it's going to be different. We are going to have to use our arms, okay? So we're here, slip, come in, my hands are on his legs, okay? Now, as I pop up, I'm going to clear his legs across my body, okay? His leg that's currently between my legs is going to be cleared to my outside. His leg that's outside, I'm going to clear to my middle. So as I pop him, I'm going to bring these legs here, and I'm going to fall down to half guard. I like to come down to half guard better because I feel I have better control. If I just try to clear the legs altogether, he has a good chance of, you know, getting back up to his base or whatever else. But if I go down to half guard, I got better control over him. I'm sure I can keep him there. Again, slip, in, gonna pop, pull his legs. Okay, at full speed, it's gonna be more like this. One more time. another really common position we're going to find ourselves in a lot is the over-under, okay? Which basically, an over-under, it's a mirrored position for me and my opponent, you know, whatever. So, for me, this is my over, this is my under, okay? The same time for him, okay? This is his under, this is his over, okay? So we're in a mirrored position here. Now, a lot of times wrestlers will get here, you know, if he shoots or whatever, I get my underhooks, I pull him up, whatever. It's a position you're going to get into a lot, okay? So typically, you know, if we're the striker, we don't want to be in it because he's using it to set up his takedown. There are a lot of takedowns you can do from it. But there are a few things that we can do from it. So we're going to start here. So we have our over-under clinch here, okay? My overside, my underside, okay? One of the things I really like to do is to pop with my underside, with my shoulder, into him to create a little bit of space. As I create the space, I'm going to make room to punch, elbow, whatever I want to do. So as I'm here, I'm going to really drive my shoulder and pop into him. Pop, create space, punch, elbow, whatever, okay? Now, after I do this, I'm not just going to sit there and, you know, break it off or whatever. I'm going to pull him back in, and we're going to do it again. So I'm here, pop, pull him back in, okay? I'm going to constantly keep him moving, you know, pulling on, you know, over, under, doing whatever. Okay, he's going to be trying to take me down, but as long as I have decent wrestling and I'm looking out for it. It's a great position where you can really land some good shots, get in some good elbows, get in some good shots, create space. We are going to try to re-secure him and pull him back in so we can continue doing it. But at the same time, if we do it and he breaks away because he doesn't want to get hit, that's good for us because he's no longer trying to take us down. Again. Okay. Can also work in knees in here. You know, I can make him start thinking, well, you know, down low, whatever. A lot of different things we can do like that. Okay, we're going to show you how to do a couple takedowns from the over-under clinch, but we're going to start with, you know, kind of the basics of it. One of the takedowns we're going to do is an arm drag. So before we show you one from the over-under clinch, we're going to show you how to just do the arm drag in the beginning, you know, period, okay? This side. So if I'm like this, okay, arm drag is a very basic wrestling move, okay? We're here fighting for hands or whatever, okay? I'm going to control his wrist, same side wrist, okay? My opposite hand is going to reach across, grabbing his tricep, okay? I'm going to use my hand to clear his arm across, pulling on his tricep and stepping forward. Okay, I'm not just stepping forward, I'm not just pulling, I'm doing both. I'm stepping forward and I'm pulling him. Okay, I always say it's like I'm trying to pull his arm out of the socket. Okay, so if I'm here, I'm really, you know, giving him a real strong pull as I take my quick step forward. Okay, and so that's the basics of our arm drag. Okay, now we're going to talk about the arm drag from the over-under clinch, okay? We'll go back to our over-under clinch where I have my over and I have my under, okay? He has his over, he has his under. It's a mirrored position. The move we're about to do to him, he can do to us at the same time. But if we're looking to take him down and he wants to stay up, then it's a good place to be. Okay, so in here, I'm going to take my arm that is over. I'm going to try to force my elbow in on his wrist, okay, kind of on his forearm, on his wrist or whatever, trying to be above it, okay. My hand goes to his tricep, creating a little bit of space here, okay. Now my other arm that's under, which is on the opposite side, going to come across, grabs onto his tricep, okay. My hand that's here that was on his tricep now goes to his wrist, okay. I'm going to clear his arm down, across, and I drop, okay. Now, he's going to be trying to, you know, lift and pull his arm out, but we're going to hang on it. It's very, very important to keep a good grip here, okay? If we're not tight here, he's going to pull it out and we're going to lose it and he's going to get on top, okay? So as we pull down, I'm going to take this hand. Once I'm ready to shoot, I'm going to take this hand, come across to his opposite leg. This arm comes here, okay? Now I'm going to pop into him with my shoulder just like we did before, okay? And I'm going to stress the importance of turning the corner, turning to the right, okay? So I'm going to into my right. Okay? So I pop and turn. It doesn't look so good when you're going slow. It looks a bit better when you're going fast. So here, I'm here. I come here. Give me one of those moves you got to hit quick. You're not going to be able to get there and hang out all day. Do it one more time. We're here. Flip my arm in, down a little bit. Cross to the wrist. Clear and drop. Now I'm going to drive my body across him, securing his legs and popping with my shoulder. So I'm here. I secure the leg. Finish takedown.
This series is providing you with the fundamentals needed to become a more successful striker in the world of MMA.
Dude.
Stop.
Season finale. In the house. Tie clinch, motherfucker.
Dude, my ear. Clinch my ear.
Stay there. Double overs, leave it.
Dude, my ear. Don't hit me in the ear.
Get the needle out. I told you we were going to have fun today, didn't I? Oh, that's an asshole move. I'm hoping that you can become a better striker in the MMA and enhance your performance with the help of Joey and Danny. Oh. That sucked. You can hit me again, but that sucked.
You also said more successful.
You're gonna hit me in my ear.
Successful.
You said more successful.
Well, guess what? There ain't a good fucking striker in any fight I've ever seen, so I hope they become more successful. How's that? The
Hi, I'm Eddie Bishop. I'm here with Brian Samville, and we're going to take you through a boxer's workout. We're going to start with our warm-up, head right into footwork. We're going to do some shadow boxing, some speed bag, heavy bag, double M bag work. We're going to go through the mitts, show you some conditioning drills, and finish up with some jumping rope. Okay, hand wrapping. It's pretty simple if you've done it 2,000 times, but I have a pretty good method of wrapping hands. This side down, that's going to face your skin. So I'm going to take this little latch here, and I'm going to put it on Brian's thumb, like this. Okay. Now, from here, I'm going to go twice around his wrist, like that. Twice, once, twice around his knuckles. I'm going to go back around the wrist, back around the knuckles like that, upper part of his hand. Then I'm going to go back around his wrist and loop his thumb, like that. Make an X here and through his fingers. Starting with the pinky, middle, to the index here. Okay, it's going to tighten everything up. Back around the wrist, back around the knuckles, tighten all that slop up here. Now, with the remainder of the wrap, I'm just going to make small X's, like so. Okay, and I'm more concerned with the wrist and the small bones in the hand than I am around the knuckles. So now I have about 2.5, 3 feet of wrap left. I'm just gonna make one more X like that and use the rest on his wrist. If you wrap your hands and you have sore wrists, it's okay to maybe put a little tape all around the wrist, tighten everything up a little bit. That is the right side. Let's switch around here. Switch positions. We're gonna do the other hand. And it's the same. It's the same for both hands. I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna loop the thumb. I'm gonna go twice around the wrist, twice around the knuckles, once around the wrist, back around to the knuckles, X back around the thumb, and through the fingers. I'm just going to make a few small X's. I'm just going to use the remainder around his wrist. And that's hand wrapping. Warming up for boxing doesn't take much. You just got to get your upper body and your lower body warm. One exercise I like to do is basically jogging in place. And you don't need a lot of space. Sometimes you're in a gym that's crowded. You don't have a lot of room to warm up, to run around, so you just jog in place. So Brian, what I want you to do is get your feet going, pump them up. Okay. Right now, you're just warming the body up. You're warming your lower body up, getting the arms going. And you can do this exercise for 3 minutes. You can get the punches straight up in the air, lifting your knees up, loosening your hips up, loosening your shoulders up. As you can see, you don't need a lot of space to do this. Your elbows come back down to your rib cage. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. You can also punch straight out. The great thing about this exercise is you're getting your upper body to work with your lower body. Your arms are working with your legs. Your hands are working with your feet. Just like boxing, when you step into a punch, you step in with your whole body, left, then right. So it's a great exercise. You can also take a few steps in and a few steps out while you punch. And do the same thing punching straight up. Elbows come back down to your ribs. Reaching for the ceiling, turn your punches over at the top. After 3 minutes of this, you'll be ready to do your footwork drills and your shadow boxing. We're going to do a basic stance. Brian, I want you to stand shoulders width apart. Take one step back with your right foot, so your right foot's about 4 inches in back of your lead heel. If you had a clock in front of you, you want your front foot to face out about noontime, your rear foot to face out at 1 o'clock. Exactly. You want your knees slightly bent, resting your body weight on the balls of your feet. Hands are going to go up by your temples, tucking your thumbs over your fingers. Okay. Elbows are tucked into the side of your ribs and your back is straight. Okay. That's your basic stance. You always want your feet under your shoulders. And no matter where you step, your feet will be under your shoulders. If you take 2 steps in, Brian, your whole body works together. 2 steps in, now take 2 steps back. Your whole body goes back. Your feet move together. If you take a step with your left foot, you're going to take a step with your right. And that's the same for going left and right, lateral movement. If you go to the left, step, step. If you go to the right, step, step. You also got to keep your chin tucked into your lead shoulder. All right. If you get punched here and your chin's up, it's going to hurt. If it's down, it's going to absorb a lot of that punch just because it's tucked down and it's protected. And your shoulder also protects your hands, your chin hair as well. Your hands protect your temples. Your elbows protect your rib cage. That's the basic stance. Okay, now we're going to go over the jab. Jab's the most important punch in boxing. It sets up your straight right, your left hook, your uppercut. It also keeps your opponent away from you when he's trying to attack. So Brian, let's get in our boxing stance. Okay, hands are up high. Okay, lead foot's out in front. Right. Okay, good. So the jab from the traditional righty stance is going to be his left hand. He's going to extend his left hand out. Everything's here is at shoulder height. Okay, the shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, everything's at shoulder height. It's going to snap out and then come back the same way it went out. The elbow, it rests on the rib cage here. I like to think popcorn. Popcorn's pop, okay? Power is in the pop. It's not in that power and that lunging throw. It's in the pop. Just like popcorn popping, like a piston in a car shoots out and comes back quick. It's more about speed when it comes to the jab. So Brian, I want you to throw the jab out. Very good. And he's breathing out, which makes the punch that much more effective. Very good. Now, if your opponent is, say, here, you've got to get to your opponent. You have to step in and throw your jab. So, Brian, what I want you to do is step in, throw your jab, reposition yourself, take a step back. Very good. Brian's pushing off the right foot. His left foot's coming off the ground, landing. Then his right foot's coming back. If you take a step with your left foot, you're going to take a second step with your right foot. And it's the opposite going back. If you take a step with your right foot, you're going to have to take a step with your left to reposition your feet under your shoulders. The next punch we're going to go over is the straight right. Okay? The straight right is going to go straight out, and it's going to extend. Shoulder, elbow, and wrist all at the same height. You're going to get your power from the floor. You're going to turn on the ball of your rear foot, kicking your heel out, just like Brian's doing, and then it's going to retract all together. So Brian, I want you to throw that straight right. Very good. I want you to do it very slow so everybody can see how it extends out. You're turning on the ball of your rear foot. Your hand's going out and then coming back. It's also important to turn the punch over. It's like a whip. When a whip snaps, it goes out loose, it turns over, tightens up, and then comes back. Throw the straight right, Brian. let's put that together. Let's throw the jab and then the straight right. Very good. Notice Brian has great form. He's keeping his back straight. He's not leaning into anything. He's very economical with his power and his speed. Everything's tight and straight. Now I want you to step into that 1-2, Brian. Very good. And step back. Brian's taking 2 steps in. When the right foot lands, he turns on the ball of his rear foot, lets that straight right go, and then brings it back to his temple, steps back, gets out of trouble. Third punch we're going to go over is the left hook. The left hook is a nice punch to throw after the straight right. It's going to pop up from the elbow here, okay? And everything's going to be at shoulder height. Elbow, wrist. I like to picture a basketball between my chest and my arm. I have a 90-degree angle here and here, okay? And I turn on the ball of my lead foot this time, okay? And when I bring it back, everything comes back. Brian, I want you to throw the left hook. I want you to slow it down and bring that elbow up high and you pop it. Exactly. Pop in the elbow. Pop. 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 Let's put that combination together. I want you to throw the jab, straight right, left hook. Notice how Brian's turning on the straight right and then the left hook. He's putting his whole body into the punch when he turns on that combination. Now we're gonna step into the jab straight right, jab straight left hook. Jab straight hook. Jab straight hook. Jab straight hook. Another punch we're going to go over today is the uppercut. We're going to go over the right uppercut. When you throw the right uppercut, you want to turn your wrist in, like Brian, bring the punch up, pop it, and bring it back. Notice how that Brian is turning on the right, the ball of his right foot. He's popping the punch, and he's bringing it back to his temple. So he's dropping and popping and bringing it back to his temple. Good. And break. Right now we're going to do a series of footwork drills designed to give you coordination, foot speed, and stamina. The first drill we're going to do is a ring circle drill. Brian's going to demonstrate the ring circle. You basically want to have your feet under your shoulders, short choppy steps with your feet. Hands are up by your temples and elbows are going to be tucked into your rib cage. It's very important you keep your back straight and you breathe. You breathe properly through your nose, out through your mouth. And just relax in there and circle around the ring. The back of your legs are going to touch the middle of each rope. So you're basically making a circle inside of the square ring. And right now Brian's going to demonstrate the circle drill. Every time he gets back to the red corner, he's going the other way. Notice how quiet it is in the ring. You can't hear him move because he's not scuffing his feet. He's picking his feet up while he moves. He's keeping them under his shoulders. His knees are slightly bent. His elbows are tucked in. His hands are up and his chin's down. It's real smooth. He also has a variation when he gets back to the corner. He's going to throw a combination. So if he's circling left, he comes to the corner, throws a 1, 2, and goes to the right. Now he's going to finish with a left hook, a jab straight, left hook. He's going to go to the left. It's a good habit. Whatever side you finish with, go to that side. If you finish with a straight right, you're going to step to your right. If you finish with your left hook, to your left side, you're going to go to your left. We take 3 minutes, 3 minutes of work, 1 minute of rest, or 30-second rest. You don't need that minute rest when you're in shape. You need that 30-second rest. You're going to get in better shape going 30 seconds rest, 3 minutes work. Try to look straight out. Don't look down at the ground. Don't look up at the ceiling. Your eyes are always focused on your opponent. And break. Our next drill is the side-to-side lateral shuffle drill. Not only do you need to get into your opponent and get your punches off, step away, you need to get around your opponent and step to the side, either the right or the left. What this drill is going to do is going to help develop your footwork to get either to the right or to the left around your opponent. This is called the side-to-side shuffle drill, and Brian's going to demonstrate it. Notice Brian's hands are up by his temples. His elbows are tucked into the side of his ribs. His back is straight. His knees are slightly bent. He's up on the balls of his feet, and he's silent when he moves. Right now, when he gets to the ropes, when he gets to the left rope, he's turning on the right heel. The pivoting on the right foot and then the left foot. When he gets to the right side of the rope, he's turning on the left foot and then the right foot. The key here is never to cross your feet up. You want to box like a duck walks. When a duck walks, he never crosses his feet, right? You got to shuffle side to side, never cross your feet up. If you ever get hit and you cross your feet, you got to fall down. And you don't want that to happen. You drill over and over and over again, side to side. Brian, now I just want you to shuffle side to side. Yep, keep your lead foot out in front. It's very important that your lead foot faces out at your opponent. If you have a mirror in front of you, you're always looking at you. You are your opponent. That's something to keep in mind. And you can see everything in the mirror. You can see that your hands are up by your temples, your elbows are in, your foot's facing out. Good form. Chin's tucked down into your lead shoulder. Left hand up high, Brian. Time. Our next footwork drill, we're going to shuffle around the ring. We're going to have lateral movement, and we're going to go forward, and we're going to go back. This drill incorporates all of your footwork where you are going around the entire ring. It's going to develop your stamina, your foot speed, and your coordination, and Brian is going to demonstrate that now. Always keep in mind the basics. The hands are up, chin's down, elbows are in, back is straight, knees are bent. You're up on the balls of your feet, and you're not crossing your feet. Lead foot always points out at your opponent. Chin's always tucked down into your lead shoulder. Break. Next drill is the jab drill. The jab's the most important punch in boxing. It's going to set up everything else. It's going to set up the straight right, the left hook, the right uppercut. It also keeps your opponent away from you. When he's attacking, you can throw your jab and keep him away. You can throw your jab going to the right, to the left, back, forward. It's the most important punch. It's not a really strong punch, but it's a fast punch. You want to throw that punch quick. And this drill is designed to give you that quickness because it's the only punch you're throwing, so you're throwing a lot of jabs. And Brian's going to demonstrate the jab drill now. Always incorporating the basics. Hands are up, chin's down, elbows are in, back is straight, knees bent, up on the balls of your feet. I like to make believe the jab is like a piston in a car. It's going out and coming back with speed. Your hand comes back to your temple. Your elbow comes back to your rib cage. break. Tire drill is a good drill to condition your feet, also condition your legs, as well as work on your stance, your head movement, your defense, and your combinations. The great thing about a tire, when you stand on it, Brian, can you stand on the tire, please? When you stand on it, that's about where your feet are supposed to be. So if your feet come too close together, you're going to fall inside the tire. If you get too wide, you're going to fall out. So it helps you stay in your stance. Now, while you're on the tire, you want to keep your hands up by your temples. Okay, everything stays the same. Hands up, chin down, back straight, elbows in, knees bent. Okay. So from that stance, you can work side to side, slipping punches. Everything's coming from the weight. Everything comes from the weight. Slip, 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 slip. Okay? You can condition your legs by dropping down. You can drop down, work your legs. Drop down, roll under. Drop down, roll under. You can work your calves by moving around the tire. Moving to the right, to the left. That's going to get you comfortable moving to the right and to the left when you're boxing while staying in your stance. You can throw a combination and then move. Again, if you notice, Brian, if he finishes with his right, he kind of moves around to his right. So he has good habits. He finishes with his left, he steps to his left. And all along his body's being trained not to fall out of his stance, to keep his feet under his shoulders. And all this is the basic rubber tire, old rubber tire from a junkyard. I put a tube in it. It's not fancy, and it's very effective. You can do a round of this, 3 minutes on. It's a great footwork drill. We've gone over footwork and we've gone over punches. Now I want to put them together for shadow boxing. What we're going to do is we're going to throw real basic punches. We're going to throw either a jab straight right, a jab straight right left hook. It's very important that you step over to the right or to the left when you shadow box. You don't want to be in harm's way. After you punch, get out of the way. Finish with your left hook, step to your left. If you finish with your straight right, step to your right. So Brian's going to step in. He's going to throw a jab. Bang. Now Brian has the option, okay, depending on what I do, either to step to the right or to step to the left. I step here, Brian can take a step over. I step here, Brian can step over. Brian throws a jab straight right, okay, he's going to step over to his right. I can't hit him. He's stepped over. He's controlling me. Now I have to step over to my right. He's one step ahead of me. If Brian throws a jab straight right, left hook, he's going to pivot off to the left. Okay? Again, I have to step if I want to hit him. Okay? Keep in mind, Brian is always in a good position. His hands are always up by his temple. They always come back to his temple. His back is always straight so he doesn't get hit with counter punches. And he doesn't use a lot of energy when he's straight. He can breathe properly. Okay? Also, when he steps, he's going to keep his feet under his shoulders. He's not going to take one wide step and stay out there. He's going to take a step and then a second step, no matter where he goes, all the time, every time. Let's do that again. We throw the jab, okay, depending on what I do, okay, yeah, he's going to move, okay. If If I take a step directly back, he could throw 2 jabs. Okay, good. Let's move back. If he throws a 1-2 and steps to the right, he's out of harm's way. If he throws a 1-2 hook, steps to the left, he's out of harm's way. When you shadow box, you want to use the ring and get used to the ring. So what this step over also allows you to do, it allows you to use the whole ring, not just a small space. You can use the entire ring when you step over. It also transfers over to the heavy bag. If you finish with a combination on the heavy bag, you step to your right, well, you position yourself up for a new combination and a new look at the heavy bag. It also transfers over to the double end bag where you can throw your combinations and step over. This drill is a duck under drill. It's a very important drill for evading punches, evading hooks, right hooks, left hooks. You need to get under your opponent and roll back under. This drill is a duck under drill. It's all it is. It's a rope and 2 bungee cords. You tie a bungee cord on each end, extend it the length of the ring, and you want it about shoulder height. When someone throws a hook at you, you roll under the punch, either to the right or to the left to evade the punch. Remember, when someone throws a straight punch at you, just like the maze ball, I'm going side to side. If someone throws a hook at me, I'm rolling under. Notice how my feet are working together. If I step to my right, right, left. If I step to my left, left, right. On the duck under drill, we're going to step to the right, then step to the left. Step, 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 step. Step, 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 step. Keep your hands up by your temples, Brian. Step, 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 step. All the way down. This is going to condition your legs. Keep in mind you want to have a straight back. You don't want to get caught with any uppercuts. Just step, step. There's a variation. Brian's stepping under and working his footwork. He's turning on the balls of his feet. Now when Brian turns around and brings it back the other way, I'm going to have him throw a few punches. When he gets to the right side of the rope, he's going to throw a straight right, left hook. When he rolls onto the other side, left hook, straight right. That's it. Very good. Step, step, punch, punch, step, step, punch, punch. There are a lot of different combinations you can throw. You can throw 4 punches. You can throw uppercuts and hooks. The simplest punch, the simplest combination to start out with is either a hook straight right on the left side of the rope or a straight right hook on the right side of the rope. Breathing out on your punches, turning on your punches, slipping under, throwing your punches, slipping under, just slipping under, not throwing any punches. You can also go backwards. Going backwards, throwing combinations. Keep in mind, someone throws a hook at you, you roll under. If someone throws a straight punch at you, you slip to the right or to the left. time. Side-to-side head movement is important in boxing. You need to get out of the way of your opponent's punch. Okay, if you get it, you want to slip over to your side, either to your right or to your left. The mace ball was designed to make your head move either to the right or the left, and then counter punch or come back to center. If somebody throws a straight left at me, okay, I want to slip over to my right. If somebody throws a straight right at me, I'm going to slip over to my left. It's very important that I stay nice and straight and slip over my side. I want to slip over my hip. I don't want to lean forward and be susceptible to an uppercut or fall off balance. This is the mace ball. The mace ball is it weighs about 2 pounds. And just swings back and forth. Okay? And when it slips back and forth, all you're going to do is slip either to the left or to the right. Picture yourself like a clock. When the clock goes tick, tock, tick, tock. That's what your body's going to do. Brian's going to demonstrate slipping the mace ball. Okay, Brian, just wanting to come over here. I'm just going to let it go, and he's going to slip to the right, to the left. It's very important that you keep your back straight and you slip to the left, to the right. And if it does hit you, it's going to get your attention. It's not going to knock you out or buzz you, but you're going to know when it hits you that it hit you. And if it does, just reposition, throw the mace ball off to the side, and slip. You want to keep your hands tattooed right up high. That's it. It's like a straight right or a left hook coming at you, and you're just getting out of the way of the punch. You can also slip and counter punch. Brian's making this look easy. It takes a little while to get the coordination down to slip, punch, and then get out of the way. You can throw different combinations. You want to throw them with speed. You're always coming back to center. If you slip to your left, you're going to come back to your center. Slip to your right, come back to your center. You can slip and then slip to the same side. Slip, slip, yeah. Slip left, or slip right. Whatever punch is coming at you, you can get out of the way. And this is an advanced drill. You're a constant moving target. When you move your head, your opponent can't zone in on the target, which is your head, because it's a constant moving target. It's like when you're fishing and you have a bobber. That bobber is constantly moving. It's similar to what your head's doing when you're boxing. Slipping side to side, slipping, counter punching. If you slip to the left, it's nice to come back with that left hook. If you slip to the right, it's nice to come back with that straight right or right uppercut. Good work, Brian. Two common mistakes in boxing are dropping your hands and lifting your chin up. There are a couple of ways you can fix that problem. You can get hit a lot and you have to cover up. Okay, you have to keep your hands up because you get knocked out all the time. Same thing with your chin. You got to keep your chin down. You have a trainer constantly yell at you, keep your hands up, keep your chin down. Sometimes the trainer's not there, so you need to work on keeping your chin down on your own. This is called the chin down. And all you do is put this around your neck here, place it under your left side, and your boxer, your fighter, needs to keep that little cushion under his chin. Now, if he lifts his chin up, it'll fall down. Brian, lift your chin up, it falls down. So it's going to let you know if you're lifting your chin up just by that simple movement. Just lift your chin up, it's going to fall down. So what you can do is you can shadow box a couple of rounds with the chin in, and that will help you develop good form, help you develop the chin down, just like that. Shadow box a couple rounds with it in, shadow box a couple rounds with it out, and you'll feel the difference. You'll know when your chin's down. It's good to shadow box both with gloves and without gloves. Sometimes if you shadow box with gloves and you take them off, your hands are going to feel really fast because you have weight on there. It's a pretty neat feeling, and it's good to practice both with and without gloves on shadow boxing. Hands up, Brian. And it's difficult. You're not aware that your chin is coming up all the time. Sometimes just a slight inch or two your chin comes up. Well, that can get you in trouble in a fight. So the more you drill and the more you're aware of your chin coming up, the better off you're going to be when the real thing comes around. We just finished up with our footwork drills. Now we're going to move into shadow boxing. I like my fighters to shadow box and warm up 3 to 4 rounds of shadow boxing. Brian's going to do a round now, shadow boxing. He's going to be working different combinations, and he's going to do that now. Notice how Brian sets everything up with the jab. When he does throw a combination, he's using his whole body on the punches. He's turning on that straight right. He's turning on that left hook. And his hands, they're coming back to his temple. He's also stepping off to the side when he finishes a combo. If he finishes with a left hook, he's pivoting off to the left. If he finishes with that straight right, he's stepping over to his right. Brian always throws something different. He's had a few fights, so he knows that if you throw the same combination every time, the opponent's going to know, and he's going to throw a counter punch because he knows it's coming. Well, Brian throws something different every time. His opponent's, he's not going to know what's coming. It's always good to do your footwork and your shadow boxing before anything else. You're still fresh and you can think when you're shadow boxing. If you're real tight, you might be a little sloppy in there, your hands might drop, and that's not a good thing. It's always good to shadow box and footwork before everything else. Short hand speed. Time. I'm gonna go over gloves. I like 12-ounce gloves, 10 to 12-ounce gloves for hitting the heavy bag. You can shadow box with a pair of these gloves. I don't like wearing a glove that's smaller than that. I feel you can hurt your hands if you don't have some type of protection on it. You can work on your hand speed with a smaller glove. It's more like the real thing being in there. In amateur and professional boxing, you're wearing 8, 10 and 12-ounce gloves. So it's more practical for a fight. In mixed martial arts, you're even wearing a smaller glove. So it's good to get a different variation, a different type of glove. The 12-ounce glove is great for bag work, mitt work, double M bag work. You don't want to spar with a 12-ounce glove. There's a risk of getting cut. There's a risk of injuring your hand, and there's a risk of hurting your opponent with a smaller glove. The next glove I have here is a 16-ounce training glove. This glove is great to condition the shoulders. It also is great for training and sparring because there's less chance that the other person is not going to get hurt catching a smaller glove to the eyelid or a bone or anywhere in the open face where you could cut yourself. This is really a really good glove to train with. The next glove we have in the gym is an 18-ounce glove. It's a big puffy glove, and wear this glove, less likely you're going to get a cut. It's a big glove, and it's also good for conditioning. So your shoulders are going to get a really good workout with this glove on. You have a championship fight coming up. You have a lot on the line. You don't want to put a smaller glove, maybe even a 16-ounce glove. Higher chance of getting cut. Big glove, 18-ounce. Mitts are very important. They work on your timing, your speed, your coordination. And if you do it in a ring, you get to use the whole ring. You get used to the ring. And I'm moving around. I'm not a heavy bag swinging back and forth. I'm stepping over here. I'm making him move to his right, to his left. I'm making him back up, making him go forward. And I'm making him think. I'm calling out different combinations. He has to throw them fast. One thing you don't want to do when you hit the mitts, you don't want to load up on your punches. If you load up on your punch, you're going to fall off balance. You're going to use a lot of energy. You're going to telegraph. Everything should be thrown with speed. Everything should go back to its center. Everything should go back to where they started from. Punch starts from your temple. It's going to come back to your temple. I like to use 3, 4, 5 rounds of mitt work. I like to work different combinations. I like to try new things on the mitts, different punches. It's really beneficial to work your combinations on the mitts. What we're going to do right now is going to go through some combinations with Brian on the mitts. I'm going to call some punches out. He's going to throw them. Keep your hands up. Jab. Jab. 2 jabs. That's it. Hands up here. That's it. 1, 2. That's it. Breathe on your punches. 1, 2. Shh, shh. 1, 2 hook. That's it. 1, 2. That's it. Finish. Step to your right. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2 hook. 1, 2 hook straight right. Jab. Breathe on your punches. Jab. That's it. All right, your hands are coming back to your temples. Jab. That's it. Keep them up. Jab. Jab. Jab, jab. That's it. Jab, jab, right hand. That's it. Jab, jab, right hand. That's it. See right uppercuts, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Right uppercut. Right uppercut, left hook, straight right. That's a step to your right. Jab. 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 Jab, jab. Jab, jab, right hand. That's it. Uppercut, hook, straight right. That's it. I want to see as fast as you can. Yeah, that's it. Throw fast. If you notice Brian's punches, they're popping. It's because he's throwing with speed. He's not loading up. He's also stepping over after he's done. Some guys will throw punches and they'll stop and then they'll get counterpunched. Brian's throwing his punches, stepping over, popping his punches. He's throwing them with speed. He's breathing correctly and he has his hands up nice and high. That's exactly how you want to hit the miss. Heavy bags are a great tool. You can work your combinations when no one's around. You know, maybe someone's around, they can hold the mitts for you. If you're by yourself, you can hit a heavy bag and you can work on your combinations. Hitting the heavy bag, it's more about control. You don't want to load up on your punches, boom, and you know you hurt your hand. Boxing's about speed. It's about control. You don't want to load up on the punches. You want to pop your punches. When you throw your combos on the heavy bag, think about going 2 inches through the bag. Make sure your hands come back to your temple. Also, keep in mind your feet. If you finish with a straight right, step to your right. If you finish with a left hook, step to your left, okay? The bag starts to rock on you, gets a little out of control, okay? Slow it down with the jab so it's centered, all right? You want to step into your punches, okay? Now let's have Brian demonstrate that right now. Brian, I want you to step in, throw a 1, 2. Okay? Yeah, that's perfect. And he just takes that step over there, right? Or he steps back to reposition himself to throw another combination. See that? He finished the left hook. He stepped to the left. I'm gonna let go of the bag now. and just watch the pop. The bag's not moving that much because he's popping his punches. He's not loading up. He's not going to injure his hands. And his punches are just going to get that much faster. Notice how he's not crowding himself when he's punching. He throws that straight left and it's fully extended. It's more like a whip hitting the bag than it is just digging in. He throws a straight right. Punch is fully extended. You get more on a punch when it's like a whip. It's more of a snapping motion. Brian's also breathing correctly. He's breathing at the tail end of the punch. Keep your hands up, Brian. It's very easy to drop your hands. It's one thing you got to keep on your mind at all times. Where are my hands? Because it's the brain, when it gets hit, that goes out, and that's what we don't want. You need to protect yourself at all times. You can be in this boxing business, this fighting business for a long time. You still need someone to tell you to keep your hands up. That's it, hands up. That's everything off the jab. Throw lots of jabs on the bag. It's the most important punch in boxing. Sets everything else up and keeps your opponent away from you. This bag right here weighs about 150 pounds. It's not going to move as much as, say, a 70-pound bag, which makes you move your feet a little more. You can, you can really concentrate on your punches when you hit this bag. Good combinations, Brian. Good control. Excellent. Good work. Break. Okay, here we have the uppercut bag. This is a great bag. You can work any punch at any angle on this bag. You can get under it, to the side, across, through. It's also a bag you can work individual punches. You can work any bag, you can work any punch individually. You can work, I'm going to move over here, you can work your uppercut, okay, on the bag. And just your uppercut, okay? You can work straight rights, you can work jabs, you can condition your legs, you can roll under it, condition your legs. I'm going to have Brian demonstrate a few punches, a few combinations on the heavy bag. Brian, I want you to stand right about there, move it a little closer, and just work your right uppercut. That's it, speed. Don't load up. It's very important that you don't load up on your punches because your wrist is very delicate and you don't want to injure your hands. That's it, just your uppercut. You can also work combinations. And it's going to make you work speed, not power, because the bag is going to move a lot. So Brian's going to have to really work on his speed here so the bag doesn't fly all the way. Excellent. Brian, I want you to work your legs now. I want you to roll under the bag. Okay, I'm gonna get it going. It's just gonna roll under one side, right? Go ahead. Roll, 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 roll. This is a good conditioning drill. It's really gonna tax your legs. Excellent, Brian. Break. So here we are with a more traditional uppercut bag. The only thing this bag doesn't allow you to do, it doesn't allow you to work angle punches. You can't rip that uppercut to the body on this bag. But it's a great bag to work your uppercut, your hooks, rolling under, working the legs a little bit. The center of the bag is the best place to work single uppercuts. You can just sit in here and really rip those uppercuts. The end of the bag, you can rip your hooks right here. You can rip combinations. You can rip uppercut hooks on the bag. There is a lot you can do with the bag. You can block punches, right? You can block here, counter punch. We're gonna have Brian. I'm gonna have him come over, and I'm just gonna have him work some basic punches. Brian, I just want you to work your right uppercut under the bag. It makes you get under the bag to pop your punches. It's always good to practice good form. If you throw a right uppercut, you're gonna turn on the ball to your right foot. If you throw a left uppercut, you're gonna turn on the ball. Very good, Brian. You're gonna turn on the ball of your left foot. You can throw straight rights. Turn on your punches. Okay. Now if I step away from the bag's going to obviously move a little bit. And again, bag work's all about control. So you can just use your arms, you keep them up by your temple. Very good. That's it. Very good. So on the end of the bag, Brian, you can move over. You can throw a right hook. A right uppercut, left hook. That's it. You want to work that on this side of the bag here. That's it. Good. Now you can also roll under the bag. Right, if the bag is here, okay, just kind of roll from one side to the other to condition the legs. Right, I might move this like that. You can roll under. That's it. I might roll it the other way. Goes under it. Yeah, roll one way, roll the other. You can rip your hooks the long way here. Yeah. That's it. You can step back a little bit, throw straight right. That's it. Good work, Brian. Break. So you're able to work a lot of different punches on this bag. You can work your head movement. You can slip under. And like I said before, the only difference between the traditional uppercut bag and the more circular bag is angle punches. You're able to work angle punches on the other bag. Yeah, here we have a pretty beefy, heavy bag. This is really good bag for working power shots or drills, conditioning drills on the heavy bag. What we're going to do right now is we're going to show you a conditioning drill. It's really going to tax the lungs, really tax the shoulders. It's called a 1-2 drill. What you're going to do is you're going to hit the bag for 30 seconds with a jab straight right. And you're going to throw that jab straight right as fast as you can. Okay. Brian, why don't you come on over? Let's do 30 seconds. And you give me the 1-2 drill. Okay, speed. What Brian's going to do is he's going to throw the 1-2s as fast as he can for 30 seconds. Ready? Go. That's it. Breathe. Halfway there. Break. and relax. So I like to do 3 sets of speed, take a minute break, and then do 3 sets of power. Okay. When you power punch, you want to punch the bag as hard as you can with your left and as hard as you can with your right. So it's going to look like that for 30 seconds. How are we feeling, Brian?
Good.
Okay, power punching, 30 seconds. Go. That's it. Ten seconds. Really taxing the lungs here. Time. And shadow box for 30 seconds. So there's another variation. You can rest for 30, or if you're in really good shape, you can shadow box in between. Time. Another important piece of equipment in the gym that you must have is a double M bag. Double M bag works on your hand-eye coordination, your reflexes, and your hand speed. You become very fast because you have to hit the bag fast. It's not going to work if you load up on the punches. All right, if I'm here and I'm going to fall off balance, you know. But if I throw the punch with speed, it's going to work. One thing to keep in mind when you're hitting the double M bag is you're going to miss it. That's just one thing that's going to happen. You're occasionally going to miss. If you're hitting it every time, you're probably doing something wrong. A double end bag has a rhythm of its own. You got to find that rhythm. You know how to throw a 1-2 already, or a 1-2 hook. Now you have to find that on the bag. Lead with speed. You have to throw your punches fast, okay? Also, move your head a little bit. All right, I'll pop that punch, I might slip over. All right, my throw right hand, slip over here. All right, 1-2, I might step over a couple. You give it a different look, a different angle. I like to hit it in the center of the bag. When you hit in the center of the bag, the speed bag, sorry, the double M bag will come back to you. Okay, let's work on some punches, some different combinations. I'm going to have Brian hit the double M bag. I want him to throw simple punches, simple combos, jabs, double jabs, 1-2s, 1-2, 1-2s, 1-2 hooks. It's a little bit of head movement after he's done punching. Go ahead, Brian. Notice Brian's slipping side to side after he's done punching. He's stepping off to the right or to the left. He's not staying directly in front of the bag. And he's working his hand speed. He's not loading up. And it's okay if you miss. You miss, you stay balanced, you recover. And he's using, just like an opponent or a heavy bag, he's working around the bag. Keep your hands up, Brian. You got a lot of different ways to defend. You can slip, you can roll under. The most important thing, hands up. speed is power. The man who can get to the target faster is the man who's going to land the punch. The man who's going to win the competition. Time. Speed bag is a great tool for your timing. It's the #1 tool for your timing. It's also good for your hand-eye coordination along with your shoulder strength. I like to hit the speed bag for 10 minutes after I'm done with my double end bag, heavy bag work, and I like to spend about 10 minutes on it, working different variations, singles, doubles, triples, whatever you know, whatever you can do on a speed bag, you put it together for 10 minutes. I'm going to show Brian how to hit a speed bag. We're going to start with the basics. Oh, no. When you stand, I'm going to hop down, Brian. When you stand, you want your feet side by side. Stand up, Brian. You want the speed bag, you want the fat, meaty part of the speed bag at about eye level. And what you're going to do is you're going to bring your hands up to about chin height. Okay. Bring your shoulders up and pinch them off. Lock them in place. The speed bag, the work comes from the elbows, not the shoulders. The shoulders are locked in place. We're going to start with singles. What you're going to do is you're going to put one hand in front of the other. You're going to punch right below the lace. You're going to start with your right hand and you're going to punch down and through with your right hand. And then down and through with your left hand. Right hand, left hand. Think in your head, ba-da-da. It's a funny word, but it helps. Ba-da-da, 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 ba-da-da. Remember, your shoulders are pinched off and locked. Your elbows are rolling down and through. Right now, Brian's hitting the speed bag with the meaty part of his hand right here. Okay. The second variation to the speed bag are doubles. And all you're going to do is hit the bag twice with your right, twice with your left. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Third variation, I like to call it the triple. You're going to hit it with your left and then your right. Brian, the triple, that's it. Left, right. Left, right. You're keeping your right hand a little higher than your left. Pop, pop. That's it, Brian. Pinch your shoulders up a little higher. That's it. Brian's hitting the speed bag in the same spot every time. That's why he's able to get it going so fast. He's not hitting it hard. He's hitting it the right time. He's hitting it when the bag is coming back to him. Fourth variation is the non-stop repetitive motion. That's the singles, doubles. So the triples, going to your triples.
Yeah.
So your triples, there you go. Now there's one more speed that Brian can get into, and that's the non-stop motion, which is here. Brian, let me try that. Small circles, same spot, elbows rolling. Take a break, Brian. So you have your singles, doubles, triples, non-stop speed bag work. What we're going to do now is going to put them all together. He's going to go from the singles to the doubles to the triples, non-stop punches. Put it together, Brian. And your doubles. And your triples. Now that's it, get it going. Keep in mind, if you're having problems with the speed bag, don't get frustrated. Just slow it down. Go over your singles, go over your doubles, triples, non-stops. Go over them individually. Also, go over your mechanics. Make sure your shoulders are up. Okay? You're rolling from the elbow. You're hitting the bag when the bag comes back to you somewhere around here. Okay? And you're not loading up. A lot of times you hit the bag too hard. It's tough to hit it a second time because it's not there. It's not where it's supposed to be. I like to spend 10 minutes on the speed bag. It's going to develop your shoulders, work on your hand-eye coordination, and develop rhythm. Jumping rope is very important when it comes to fighting. It's going to give you coordination, stamina. It's going to give you rhythm. Jumping rope's not just jumping up and down. There's a lot of different things you can do. You can, skip side to side, cross the rope through. There's a lot of different variations with a jump rope, and it's going to work on your coordination. When you throw a combination, you throw in different punches and put them together. Well, when you jump in a rope and you put different variations of jumping rope together, it's very similar to working a combination. You're also working your upper body and you're working your lower body. The same thing in boxing. Your upper body works your lower body. What we're going to do right now is going to have Brian show you a few different variations with the jump rope. What he's doing is just switching feet. Alternating feet. And when you jump in rope, you're turning your wrists. When the rope hits the ground in front of you, you jump. Demonstrating a crossover. Alternating feet. Knees up. Doubles. Different speeds and rhythms. Sometimes you want to slow it down in there. Other times pick up the pace. It's like we throw a combination. You throw it fast, you get out, and you move. Side to side. Really pay attention to Brian's feet because he's doing a lot of different things with his feet. Jumping rope should be done at the end of your workout. You can take your hand wraps off. Build up to 10 minutes on the rope. 10 to 15 minutes on the jump rope after your workout. Break. When you start your workout, you first want to start with a warm-up. jogging in place and throwing your punches for the duration of a round, 3 minutes of work. So once you feel warm, you can start your footwork drills. You have your ring circles, your shuffle drills side to side, and you have your drill where you move around the ring, shuffling forwards to the side, backwards, and sidewards again. And then you want to get into your shadow boxing. You want to shadow box about 4 rounds. It's always good to get your footwork done and your shadow boxing done before you do anything else. You want to be fresh and be able to concentrate on what really counts. In boxing, it's about your feet. You got to get in, you got to get out, you got to get around your opponent, and you got to be able to think about your punches. You want to put your punches together. So shadow boxing and footwork always come first after you warm up. Next thing you can jump into is either mitt work or bag work. Mitt work is great. It's good for your combinations. It's good for your hand speed. And it's not always there. When it is there, take advantage of it. If you can't get mitt work, you want to work on your heavy bag work. You want 4 to 6 rounds of heavy bag work, working on your combinations, working on stepping over, working on your hands and make sure they're up by your temple. And don't forget, when you finish with the right hand, step to your right. If you finish with the left hook, step to your left. Boxing basics, don't cross your feet up. Simple stuff like that is things you can work on when you're in the ring. After the heavy bag comes the double end bag work. Double end bag work, again, hand speed, stepping over, moving your head. Finding the rhythm within the speed bag is key. I like to work the double end bag about 2 rounds. After the double end bag work comes the speed bag work. I like to work the speed bag about 10 minutes with different variations, singles, doubles, triples, and non-stop motion. About 10 minutes. After that, 10 minutes on the jump rope. If you can build up to that, you're going to be in really good shape. Now, if you are training for a fight and you're doing a lot of sparring, you don't want to do all the drills, all the footwork drills, all the conditioning drills days you spar. If I'm going to spar, I shadow box maybe 3-4 rounds, gear up, get in the ring, spar, come out, maybe if I'm feeling pretty good, maybe do one conditioning drill where I'm throwing 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off on the heavy bag, skipping some rope, some ab work, that's it. You don't want to go in there tired. Reason being, if you're tired, your hands are going to get dropped and you're going to get clipped. And it's not healthy to take punches all the time. You really need to have a good structured defense, hands up, chin down. And if you're tired and you're getting hit, it's not a healthy thing. As far as conditioning, I like to condition with the weights and the cardio 2 to 3 times a week. If you can do that, you're going to be in really good shape. As far as your road work, I like to do one taxing run, maybe 5 miles a week, along with 2 shorter runs where you're possibly going 2 miles sprinting every other telephone pole length. That's really going to tax the lungs, and that's more practical. When you're boxing, you're throwing a combination fast, you're getting out, and you're relaxing. It's very similar to jogging a telephone pole length, sprinting a telephone length. The long taxing run's going to increase your stamina. It's just good to just get out there and let it go for 5-6 miles. As far as your boxing training and your footwork drills, it's good to get in, 3 times a week. 3 times a week, you're going to work your footwork. You're going to shadow box. You're going to hit the heavy bag, the double end bag. You're going to hit the speed bag, and you're going to jump some rope. It's okay to do your road work in the morning and do your conditioning at night or do your road work in the morning, do your footwork and bag work drills at night. If you do spar, don't do anything but spar. You want to save it all for inside the ring because the other guy's throwing punches at you and you have to be ready. What I've shown you today is a fighter's workout. We start with the warm-up. We do our footwork. We shadow box. We do mitt work, bag work, double end bag work, speed bag work, jumping rope, and conditioning. All of these are designed to make you a better fighter. You want to practice daily, work on your footwork, work on your shadow boxing, do your conditioning, do your road work. All of these components are beneficial. Even if you don't want to become a fighter, if you train like one, you're going to look like one, you're going to feel good, you're going to be ready to fight. My name's Eddie Bishop. I'm a professional boxer. I'm an amateur and professional trainer. And I'm here working with Ryan Butler out of Reality Self-Defense on his conditioning. And he's got a fight coming up in a couple months, so we're going to get him ready. Right now we're going to be doing a weight cardio combination workout for fighters. I like to do 3 exercises and a minute of cardio in between the exercises. You want to do 2 sets of the exercises and then a minute of cardio. This program is designed to hit your aerobic and anaerobic systems. It's cardio and it's weights. We concentrate a lot of leg exercises, a lot of repetitions and cardio in between. Right now we're going to start off with the walking lunges. Ryan, let's get going. Let's get on the 25s. Brian's keeping his back nice and straight. He's using the whole ring. He's nice strong legs. Excellent. It's one of the many exercises that we're going to do that's going to give the legs stamina to get through a fight. Next exercise we're going to do is seated squats. It's another exercise that's going to tax the legs. We're going to do 15 15 reps each leg. All right, Ryan, start out with the right leg. This exercise is going to give you explosive power in your legs, the kind of stamina you need late in the late rounds. Next exercise, we're going to do the step-ups. We're going to do 15 each leg. Okay, step-ups. Big legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, big legs. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and switch legs. Big legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 15. Good job. Waist down. Excellent job. Next drill we're going to use for our cardio is the medicine ball drill. We're going to control the medicine ball with our feet. Ryan's going to demonstrate that now. Punching straight up. The idea of this is if you can move around the medicine ball punching up, you can move around the ring punching out at your opponent. Your hands and your feet are working together. Excellent. We're gonna give Ryan's legs a break, and we're gonna go into the dips and the push-ups. We're gonna do 20 dips, 20 push-ups. This exercise is really taxing your triceps and your chest. Good work. This piece of equipment right here is the stability ball. As you can see, if I'm on it, I'm really trying to stabilize myself. And just so happens we're using it for something different right now. We're working for joint stability in the shoulders. This right here is a Russian kettlebell. There are different exercises, different variations of exercise you can do with the kettlebell. We're using this for joint stability in the shoulders. These two exercises are great for your shoulder strength and your shoulder stability. The next exercise we're going to work on is a stability drill for your shoulders. And we have two different variations. We have one variation where you're just going through the drill with no push-ups. The second variation is with push-ups. Okay, stability drill. That's it, strong shoulders. Stability drill with push-ups. Nice. That's it, strong shoulders. Nice. That's it, strong arms. Way to work, Ryan. Nice way to work. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Next drill we're going to do is the medicine ball push-ups. This is going to build stamina and strength in your triceps, upper body, your shoulder area. Ryan's going to demonstrate the shoulder push-ups. Excellent. So you're doing one on each side, then two, and then three. Okay, now we're going to jump rope for a minute. Ryan's going to demonstrate jumping rope. This is a good drill to build your stamina, your coordination. Excellent. That's good. Another exercise we're going to do is for our triceps and our upper body, biceps, shoulders. This is going to build stamina, strength in our shoulders. For 30 seconds, Ryan's going to give me shoulder extensions with the medicine ball. You need to keep your hands up during a fight. And this is a good way to condition your arms to stay up. Second position. Go. Third position. Go. When you do the third position, you don't want to let the ball go below your belly button. Try to keep it up. You're going to feel a burn in your shoulders and your biceps. Break. Excellent. Another variation to build shoulder strength. Instead of doing the medicine balls, you can work your upper body with dumbbells. We're going to start off punching overhead, 30 seconds. Second variation, out in front, 30 seconds. You can alternate, or you can also do them at the same time. Time. The third position, we're going to punch. This is really going to tax the shoulders, especially after those two exercises. It's not easy. Go. Two simple punches, a jab and a straight right. Time. When you shadow box, you're not getting any negative resistance. When you put a band around your arms, now you're getting a little more resistance going back, forward and back. So the bands just give you that extra resistance. And it's resistance in any way you use them. If you're going here, they're going to pull your arms back. If you're going here, they're pulling your arms back. You're punching up, it's giving you resistance downward. So that's what the bands are going to help you with. This next drill is the Superman drill. This is going to condition your arms. You're going to throw a lot of punches. You're going to really work your chest and work your shoulders. Ryan, let's start out with 20 push-ups. Okay, 30 punches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Excellent. We're going to hug the barrel for 20. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And we're going to finish with 20 push-ups. Next drill we're going to use for our cardio is the medicine ball drill. We're going to control the medicine ball with our feet. Ryan's going to demonstrate that now. Punching straight up. The idea of this is if you can move around the medicine ball punching up, you can move around the ring punching out at your opponent. Your hands and your feet are working together. Excellent. Okay, Superman lunges. You can run through 2 sets of these at 20 apiece. You know you're in shape. And if you note, a lot of this is done from your stance, from your boxing stance, righty, southpaw, wrestling, alternating. Giving your legs explosive power. Excellent. So here we have another grueling leg exercise that's going to condition your legs and get you ready for a fight. Ryan's going to demonstrate down-ups with the medicine ball. Down, up, down, up. You need strong legs to win a fight. Good. So here's another variation where the stance is a little wider. You're going to drop down a little lower. And Ryan's going to demonstrate that now. This also develops your coordination. You're stepping, dropping, lifting up. You're getting your upper body working with your lower body. That's very important. This next exercise is called the triple threat. This came from one of my conditioning trainers, Peter Apoli at Elite Health and Fitness. This is going to develop your lower back, give you plenty of strength and conditioning. We like to do about 15, 15, and 15. 3 sets, 3 exercises, 15 sets. Ryan, why don't we go through it? Just popping your hips to the ceiling. Using your arms as balance, as a leverage point. Strengthening your midsection, your lower back. When you're doing all these exercises, it's really a good idea to keep your breath in mind, concentrate on your breath. The more relaxed you are, the better you're going to be during a fight. Okay, now we're going to jump rope for a minute. Ryan's going to demonstrate jumping rope. This is a good drill to build your stamina, your coordination. Excellent. That's good. I'm going to show you a few ab exercises to strengthen your core and toughen you up for fighting. First exercise we're going to do is we're going to do a set of leg raises. 30 is a good number to reach. 2 sets of 30. Right now, we're going to get 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 10 more. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Excellent. Next drill we're going to do is a medicine ball push-ups. So I'm just going to step on Ryan's feet. Ryan's going to come up, take the medicine ball, go down, pass to me. There's 1. We got 30. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 10 more. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Excellent. The next exercise we're going to do is the ab roller. These are pretty tough. I'm going to have Ryan give me 20. Okay, Ryan's going to go down on his knees. He's going to roll out, probably about 3 feet to my foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Excellent. Next exercise we're going to do is a plank. This exercise is really good for your core. It's going to strengthen your core. It's good for throwing hooks. Okay, you need a strong core to whip those punches, and they only throw on hooks. I like to hold a plank for 30 seconds. You wanna have your hips and your shoulders in a straight line, just like a plank. Your back's going to resemble a plank. You have different variations. You can roll your hips to the right and left like you're throwing a straight right and the left hook. Yeah. Rotating side to side. Break. Okay. Next exercise I'm going to show you is a drill that's gonna condition your abs. You can do all the sit-ups in the world, but it won't be the same as taking a punch. So what Ryan's going to do, he's going to lay down on his back. Okay. I'm on top of him here like this with the medicine ball. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the medicine ball on his stomach. You want to be really careful you don't drop it on his chest and crack any bones. You're going to start off with 10 right on his abs. Very important that he breathes out when you drop the medicine ball on his ab. We can go 10 on the left side. 10 on the right side. Come back to center. Okay, and you can either on the last one you can either have him close his eyes or not. Okay, if he closes his eyes, he doesn't know it's coming. That's a really good drill to condition your abs to take punches. This program's designed for fighters to condition their bodies for whatever happens in that ring. We like to do 3 exercises and a minute of cardio in between the exercises. 3 exercises, 2 sets, a minute of cardio. You can mix your cardio up with jumping rope, controlling the ball with your controlling the ball with your feet. Running stairs, treadmill work, sprinting on a treadmill for a minute. It's very important you get that minute of cardio in between the weight exercises, so you're getting both aerobic and anaerobic work in. I would train 3 months of this exercise, of this program, 3 months before your fight. I would also do it 2 to 3 times a week if you can, and that's the program in a wrap. Welcome to Bishop's Training and Fitness. We're located in West Bridgewater, Mass. You can visit us on the web at www.bishopsboxing.com. We specialize in boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, and mixed martial arts. Whether you want to train like the pros without the blows or become a world champion, we can help you reach your goals. So please stop by or visit us on the web. Thank you.
That was pretty good.
Dog's going crazy? What are you doing? Welcome to Bishop's Training and Fitness. We specialize in kickboxing, boxing, wrestling, and mixed martial arts. Whether you want to train like the pros without the blows or become a world champion, we can help you reach your goals. Please visit us at www.bishopsboxing.com or give us a call at 508-559-2611. Thank you and good luck.